Shabbat Shalom, Opam family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Opam.
Shabbat shalom, beloved.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Abba. How are you?
I'm doing great, my wonderful, most esteemed prince.
All right. You know what?
And hey,
Boy,
princess, how you doing?
hey, they're not going to understand that. They're not going to understand that, but that's okay.
Oh boy,
Yeah, we
gotta
got to
love
stick up
family.
for each other.
Gotta love family.
Ain't nobody else going to do it for us, so we got to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom. All right, so we live, y'all. We live. We getting going. So let's start moving. We slow motion. I don't know why we slow motion, but we need to pick up the energized battery or something and move forward. I just wanted to put the link up so we can get started. Normally at this part of our day, what we start is with the commandments. So at this time, if anyone would like to start with their commandments, please feel free to do so. Would anyone like to start with their commandments?
Yes, I have mine. 1 second. My commandments. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
My commandment can be found in the book of Deuteronomy, the BARREN, chapter 19, verse 14. And it reads, "Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set, in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Most High thy power giveth thee to possess it." So to me, it's just telling you that you can't go upon, like if you have land next to somebody and you move the landmark, you're basically stealing somebody else's land. You're not supposed to move their landmark, whether you take it away or add to it, to maintain the inheritance for the ones that are coming after. So that's what I got from it.
All right, very good. May the Most High be praised.
No doubt about it.
That was a nice one. Do you know how that would apply in today's time?
Yeah, like it's something that we pointed out on our land, how we have borders, we have a fence on our land, and when the surveyor came out, he surveyed the land and he tied a pig tie on the trees or certain markings where the land is, and it shows that the neighbors who put the fence, they actually took some of our land in their fencing. So we have to now go back and either discuss it with them so they can move their fence back, so that we can get the land that they have, that they think it's theirs or whatever they decide to do. I don't know. We don't know if they're purposely doing it or not, but they marked it off incorrectly.
Well, you can always just go and move their fence too.
Yeah, that too.
And let them take it up. And let them figure out how to fix it.
That's true.
Yeah, you can. Because that land is yours.
Okay.
So when the land belongs to you and somebody inappropriately or sneakily move the border of your land, you have the right to protest that by tearing down their fence and putting up a new one where you say it's supposed to be. Just make sure you're right when you do something like that.
Right.
And what y'all did was y'all went and got a surveyor. So the surveyor, who's the professional, he came out and he did it. And plus you're accurate, because when I use that app, Land Glide, and ride the land, I can still see how they took like 15 feet of the land that belonged to Beulah and put a gate within 15 feet of that. I can see that. So yeah, I would agree. Just go and but you want to try to keep the problems out of the way by having conversations.
Right.
But still, I'll just take it down. Wait till we get the really strong over there on Beulah land. Wait till we really get strong. Like when Sister Yo Shirley and them put their house over there on the land, when we get really strong, we're gonna do all kinds of stuff like that. And then Abba come and put his house on the land and all that stuff. We're gonna really start doing some stuff. Then Sister Sakari come and put her house on the land. Oh, we're gonna be getting it in. Shoot, boy, we gonna have swim pools and everything. Everybody gonna want to be on Beulah.
Yeah, so true.
School buildings, cemeteries, we gonna have everything.
Yeah.
But that's the way you do it. Is anyone else? Anyone else want to give a commandment?
Ezekiel, hold on. Yeah.
It's a muffled sound coming from your microphone.
Can you hear it now? Is it still muffled? It's
Yeah,
probably air conditioning on.
it's all right. We'll bear with it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Okay, my law is Deuteronomy 4, verse 2. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord of the Most High, which I command you. I wrote down. Okay, so I said this law is pretty self-explanatory, but to put it more simple, just in case. Oh, okay. This law is pretty self-explanatory, but to put it more simple, you are not supposed to switch what the Most High told us to do anywhere in the Bible to what you want it to be at all. A lot of teachers I've heard follow what the Most High says and teaches exactly that. But at the same time, a lot of teachers I've also heard, most being male, they have switched around words to what they deem to be right. When I was younger, my siblings would, be talking after services about different things that, wasn't adding up to what is said in the Bible. And I would be listening in. But as I got older, I started to witness it myself in certain teachers. But basically, when you want to recite, teach, or explain the laws or the words of the Most High, be very strict with yourself about the words that are going from the book to your brain and out your mouth, because the Most High will only spare you so many times before you don't know what's going to happen.
Because the Most High will what?
Only spare you so many times.
Because the Most High will only spare you so many times. Okay. I guess I understand. So how many times you think the Most High gonna spare you?
Well, they say that you have your cup is tipped over every year, at the inflow and all that. So I would say he'll probably punish you in little ways until he finally wants you to actually, get it through your mind that what he's saying. Then he'll do something big.
Okay. A lot of times when the Most High punishes you, he don't punish you by beating you. He don't punish you where you get a direct pain. Sometimes he punishes you by holding you back from what you desire to be and do in life because you're not worthy of that. A lot of people want themselves to be better than what they appear to be right now in their lifetime. But a lot of that don't even be punishment of the Most High. It's just inconsistency. It's not people really giving their all into being what they want to be. A lot of people are lazy. A lot of people look for the shortcut. A lot of people cause their own calamity upon their own heads by not giving all of their energy into whatever they desire to have or be. But when the Most High brings down his form of punishment upon you by slowing up the progress in your life, you know it because it ain't just about you, it's about others who affect you in your life as well. It just seems like no matter what you do, things don't go right. No matter where you go, you can't have your way and you can't excel, you can't go anywhere. And I'm talking about you putting all the energy into it physically that you could possibly be or possibly do. But for some reason, it feels like you're being held back at a standstill. And a lot of that time is because the Most High got you right there, but he's trying to take you somewhere and you're resisting what the Most High has for you. So it's not always about a beating. Sometimes it's about a form of correction, just to get you to go deep and examine your ways, your behavior, your thought patterns, and how you do and see, and all kind of ways in which you react, just to try to get you to come around to the Most High's way as opposed to your way. Because most of us, we do things our way, and we do things our way, and we do things our way. And when it's not working, we do things our way. Instead of stepping back, taking a 3-day fast, meditation period to get alone and really get into the Most High, put your thoughts in your spirit, in your mind, and that's what you focus on 90% of your day, in that place of solitude. That's how you pray. That's how you seek the Most High's face. You got to feel it in your inward parts, all the way down to your soul. Nothing else is more important than that. And that's how you pray. When you really, 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 really need something from the Most High, you got to go in complete solitude. Nothing else matters. Don't go no work. Don't do no work. Don't eat no food. Don't go nowhere. Don't talk to nobody. Shut the television off. Shut the phone off. And get in that little room and just stay there all day and just clear your mind. Believe me, you will work wonders. The Most High will visit you and bring you things if you're worthy of being visited and brought things, if you're worthy, because everybody's not worthy. Some of us have done so much dirt to the Creator and on the Most High's name, and we're in rebellion thinking that we need correction. So the Most High doesn't, what are you going to deal with us for? What are you going to talk to you for? You don't even think nothing's wrong. But the man that will have the mind to go and fast and pray before the Almighty on that level, I'm sure he'll get the Most High's attention, no matter what he's done. You know? No matter what he's guilty of. If he search and beseech the face of the Most High, Second Chronicles 7:14, I think it is. If he beseech the Most High's face that hard, that heavy, that strong, the Most High hear him. The Most High answer him. Might not be what he want, but the Most High will respond to him. And we'll let him know that he hears him. All right. So Ziki, your commandment was more so about altering the word of the Most High. And you said more so you hear it in men. Could you clarify that, please?
I only said men because that's most of who even from when I was little to now, I've never really heard a lot of women teach like me. I've never actually.
You sound like a junior feminist. Only hear from men. Only men. I don't hear from women. Only men. You sound like a junior feminist. You sound like somebody's preparing you to be a feminist one day. So let's get rid of this right now. Maybe the reason why you haven't heard it from women is because you don't hear too many women teach. Maybe that's what it is. But for you to stereotype that, Ezekiel's sitting right there, right?
Yeah, but that's what she said.
I'm talking to Zeke. I'm talking Zeke. Can you see me, Zeke?
Yeah.
Okay, baby girl. So it sounds like you're being prepared to be a young feminist, baby feminist, and we don't want you to be a feminist. You really don't need to say that you only hear it from men, because men are the only ones that you really hear teaching. Very rare do you hear a woman teach. At least in my understanding, that's true. Okay. So you wouldn't have to qualify that statement. And I'm saying this, the only reason why I'm singling this out, because I don't want you to get in your mind this hatred for men that men don't deserve. We know they toe up, they from the flow up, they bad, and they got their issues, but that's some men and not men. When you say men, you're talking about all men, and that's not what it is. And even that is dealing with males and not men necessarily. All right. So I just wanted to stay on top of that, because if there's a spirit rousing up inside of you, I wanted to destroy that if I had an opportunity, destroy it before it rise up. And one day you're talking about, I hate all men, and I don't want to hear that. Okay. Now, as far as your commandment, I like the commandment that you gave. And there are a lot of people who are guilty of doing just that. But sometimes when people get in their minds that they're right, you can't show them that they're wrong. You can break down the scripture, and unless they feel like they came up with this answer, you ain't teaching them nothing. They came up with this on their own. They won't agree with you unless they feel like they came up with that on their own. Other than that, they won't agree with you. They won't agree that you're right. They won't submit. They will see the truth will stay right before them, and they will not accept it. Rah, rah. Shabbat shalom, rah, rah. My man. And accept that truth is revealed right there before them. They still won't accept it because they don't want nobody telling them what to do. There are people like that in this world. And like you said, you sit around and you hear the scriptures, you see what they're saying, and then later on you'll review it, and you'll see where they added their words to the Most High's law. This is what a lot of people call teaching. It's not that they're giving their opinion and they qualify it as their opinion. They give it out there as if it's truthful and factual, and it's not that at all. It's their opinion, but not just that they're giving their opinion on the matter, because in order to teach, a lot of the times you add your opinion to the lesson so that it'll sink into somebody's mind and spirit. But these people actually add to the Creator's truth. And you don't have to do that. The Creator's truth is so clean and plain, you don't need to add to it. But some people do because they have an agenda. And some people's agenda is to sway you over to see things the way that they see things to be. And a lot of times when that happens, they have to add things to it. Not by error, but by deceit, to try to get you to favor their position. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Like in one of the famous places where Christians like to use is when the prophet Isaiah was at war. Well, Isaiah was the prophet, but Ahaz was at war with all these different nations. And the prophet Isaiah said to Ahaz that the Most High will give you a sign. The young woman shall be with child, right? And she will have a child, and this child will be called whatever it's going to be called, and Emmanuel and all that type of stuff, right? Isaiah 7, I believe it is. So a lot of people who believe in Christianity, they take that scripture and say, see, this is the prophecy that a virgin is going to have a baby, but it didn't say virgin. It said young woman. It says the young woman shall have a child. Young woman and virgin, Alma and Betula, are two different words. Okay? So this is like, that can be said, how people add to the word of the Most High to try to get you to find their position. Now, with a scripture like that, they can tie the whole history of Christianity to the Tanakh, therefore giving the Christian book validity and making people feel like, hey, well, see, there it is. It's written right there. So that's just a small example of how people add to the word of the Creator. They'll change the meaning and definitions of certain words to suit the position that they stand for. So that's where your commandment is so powerful and so strong and needs to be learned throughout the earth. A lot of people do that to get their point of view across to the world. May the Most High be praised. Somebody puts out a great point, and let me jump on this point that Lioness brings out. Lioness brings out a great point, and this is her point. Well, it would be good, and young woman as well as a virgin. Well, it would be good. I think you need to rewrite that for me, sis, because from what I understood you to be saying, it's not what this is saying. So I would like for you to rewrite that, and I agree with you, but I need you to correct it and spell it out simply so we could talk about it a little bit, because that is a very good point. Okay?
Lexi says one.
Lexi. All right, Lexi.
Mine is in Deuteronomy 1 and 16 and 17. And I commanded your judges at the time, saying, when hearing between your brothers, judge righteously between a man and his brother, or the stranger who is with him. Do not show partiality in right ruling. Hear the small as well as the great. Do not be afraid of anyone's face, for the right ruling belongs to Elohim. And the case which is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I shall hear it.
Okay. Go ahead. Interpretation?
Let's see. I know, like in today's day, with all the like congregations, a lot of times people will be really quick to judge the people like outside of their congregation or just like strangers on the street, and then will not even look inwardly to their own people and see the wrongs that the people that are in their own home that they're doing, and will be quick to judge somebody else before looking inwardly.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that happens quite often, especially when you're dealing with leadership. A lot of leadership will cast judgment quick on outsiders or other people in the community, but when it comes to their own family or even themselves sometimes, they find ways to justify their actions. And it could be the same offense that they just found somebody else guilty for with the exact same motive and actions. So the person was found guilty, so that leadership or the family of that leadership should have been found guilty as well. Or the person that they liked or was in favor with or even loved should have been found guilty as well. But because of a emotional attachment, a lot of times people can't properly disseminate proper and righteous punishment for the crime. They show partiality.
It also says like, don't be afraid of anyone's face. So even if it's not the leader of the community that's doing some judging, but like maybe an elder, they're too afraid to maybe judge the leader because they're the leader, and so maybe they're doing something wrong. So he said like, don't be afraid to say it. Like, and if you can't, come to me, it's gonna get out.
You're absolutely right. A lot of times people are afraid, just as you said, to approach the leadership. Leadership sometimes they get so big and mighty in their own heads that nobody can touch them.
Right.
Nobody can do anything or say anything to them, and they begin to live a lawless life, meaning that anything and everything that they do is justified. Like I knew of one leader, spiritual leader of a community, they actually called him the creator. They call him the creator, Abba Haggadah. They call him that. That's how they call him. Abba Haggadah, the creator, the great father. That's how they referenced him. But they actually, when they would read their scriptures, they would take out Elohim or Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh and put his name in there. They'll put his name in the scriptures. And that's how they prayed to him. They reverenced him in the utmost ways. Well, this same man was accused of fathering children with his daughter. The same man. He was accused of fathering children with his daughter. Now, this is this source that I've gotten this information from was from people in his community. So it's not like I'm hearing this 30 miles away or 50 miles away. I'm hearing it right from the source, the people that's right there with him that bringing up these accusations against him. The man is no longer here with us, but I don't want to tear down the great works that this man has done and achieved. But I'm just using this as an example of how leadership can sometimes get in their heads, get so big that they are beyond reproach from mortal man. And that's not good. Thank you for that, though. That was a great example. May the Most High be praised. All right, Lioness has something she wanted to share with us. She said, you can be a young woman as well as a virgin. There you go. That is correct order before meeting your husband. This is the order it can be done in. And she's 1,000% correct. So when the word says Betula and they try to make it say Alma, but yet it says Betula, you can be a virgin and a young woman at the same time. That's true. But the interpreter or the imposter, the Christian understanding doesn't say young woman. They say virgin. They try to put it as if this woman never had intercourse with any man ever before in her life. and that this baby that was born of her was of an immaculate conception without the intervention of a man. So therefore, they put it out there and teach it so that you will believe some mystery thing has taken place. And wow, look at this. And automatically, you got the creator on earth as a man. And people follow it, and people believe it, and people accept it. But yes, I understand your portion that a young woman can be a virgin. She should be a virgin. And I also like the way that you brought out that your husband, that is the correct order before meeting your husband, to be a virgin. This is the order it can be done. And I totally agree with you. That's the way it should be done. May the Most High be praised. All right. Roz says something. Roz says some folks will use positions to justify their wrong. He's absolutely right. And that's what a lot of people do.
Do you want me to read the laws that were?
Yeah, sure, Emma. You can do that.
All right. Zaquina Sukari, her law can be found in the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 8, verse 6. And it reads, therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of the Creator, to walk in his ways and to fear him. Her explanation is simply put, to trust and obey.
Simply put. You see how she said that? Simply put. It's not a hard, big story. It's not a big deal. Simply trust and obey and let go. All other things just fall to the wayside. She's absolutely correct. May the Most High be praised. I used this example last week in class. I was having a conversation with my wife, and she just does this, leaning on the wall. So I asked her, why are you leaning on that wall? And she didn't understand where I was coming from at first until I elaborated. So I asked her, why are you leaning on that wall? She says, what do you mean? I said, you didn't look at the wall and examine the wall to see if the wall will hold you up. You didn't check the wall to see if it was strong. You already had the confidence, and you just leaned on that wall and put all your weight on it. And in your mind, you knew it had you. That's the type of trust we have to have in the Creator. We have to be able to totally just jump off the top of a building and open our arms and know that the Most High is going to allow us to land safely. In any and every endeavor that we involve ourselves in, everything. And as long as we're living in righteousness to the best of our ability, then the Most High got us. He got us. That's right. Bram, are you not coming on today, Bram? That's right. Blind allegiance. I set the link in the room, Bram. Why you ain't in here yet? You ain't in here yet. What's up with that, man? Blind allegiance to this king. That's how we have to trust in him. Close our eyes and just let go and just trust in him, but walking in his truth to the best of our ability. We must do that. We must. If we ever want to see the Most High work with us in our lives and in the lives of our family, that's how we got to do it. Yeah, if you still eating, bro, you can just wait till you finish eating. We don't want you up here munching in the camera. It's very unprofessional. We don't want that to happen. So take your time, get your grub on. May the Most High be praised. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Autumn says she's reading from the book of, her law can be found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verses 5 through 6. If ye offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Creator, ye shall offer it at your own will. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, or on the morrow. And if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt with fire.
May the Most High be praised. And what's your explanation?
The explanation reads, she said, verse 5 hits home where the Most High says, a peace offering shall be offered at our own will. Even though the Most High was, is, and always will be in control, he blessed us with free will and wants a willing and free heart, not forced, not a forced cut off bitter heart. You cannot properly serve the Creator with love towards him with a forced heart. Even we don't want things given to us forcefully.
Very good. That's a very who's your husband? That's a very good. You sharp girl. That's good. You can't force love to the Almighty. You can't pretend to be obedient to the Creator. You can't pretend that. That's something that you can't fake. Like you can't be inside one time and then outside on the other side. You either obedient or you're not obedient. You're either obedient or you're disobedient, one way or the other. You can't fake these things. Why you can't fake them? Because the energy inside of you don't lie. Energy don't lie. People out their mouth lie, but the energy that they carry, and once you learn to read energy, you can see through all the lies. But the energy don't lie. The spirit realm understand energy. The spirit realm bear record from energy. So they know whether you're lying, being deceitful, and all those things. So it's best that we don't do such a thing. May the Most High be praised.
Do you want to read your law for that time? You put it in there. You want to read it? All right, Brother Antoine, you can read it.
Wonderful. Come on, bro.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Well, that's a nice place y'all got there.
Mine is coming from Deuteronomy 23, verse 7 and 8. Do not loathe an Edomite, for he is your brother. Do not loathe the Mizraite, because we were strangers in their land. The children of the third generation born to them do enter the assembly of Yahuwah. When I read that, it made me think about a bunch of dudes that I spoke with. Say, Most High hated, such and such, so I hate him too. But we got to remember, we got in trouble for disobedience. Just because the Most High is saying he's got something on his part, and he instructed you to do something different than what he's doing, regardless of how you feel about it, you got an instruction to be disobedient, even though he don't like that that bloodline. It doesn't change the fact that he told you to not to hate him.
Where you going, man? Where you going, bro? All right, that was very good. That's very good. Do you know anybody that hate the Edomites?
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Oh yeah. Why would they hate the Edomites?
They don't know no better, in my opinion.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
They don't even know who the Edomites are.
This is true. That's a whole other story, though.
Yeah. So they hating somebody. They don't know who they hating. All right, bro. Thank you. That was a great commandment. Thank you for your contribution. May the Most High be praised. The lion said they will know them by their fruit. Very good, sis. Very good. Sister Sharon, Shabbat Shalom, sis. Chief, Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High be with you both. And sis, tell your husband I said Shabbat Shalom, Brother Raya. We got another commandment? Somebody else in there want to give a commandment?
Okay, if I may.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Albert. You got the floor.
All right, mine comes from Tehillim or Psalms 100. Raise a shout for Yahuwah, all the others. Serve Yahuwah with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know that Yahuwah, he is Elohim. He has made us and we are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Give thanks unto him and bless his name. For Yahuwah is great and his kindness everlasting and his truth to all generations. My explanation, I chose this because as we know that he has given us his Torah, he's given us his instructions. This speaks to the nature of our service, how we're to serve, not just because it's a dull thing, because a lot of times I've seen people do things out of duty and it's like the Sabbath is not really a delight. It's just, well, it's Sabbath. I got to come. I've got to do this. And it becomes, it becomes to the point to where it's just a thing that they do because, well, I do it because I have to. and they don't do it joyfully. And so when they come and they're looking like sour pickles and they're looking like it's just a horrible and a sad thing, well, I'm doing it because I just want to be right. I don't want to get in trouble, instead of coming with gladness and coming with joy and with singing and with praise. And so that it speaks to the nature of our service to our Creator. And I yield.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that ties in with the commandment that was brought forward a little earlier about doing it with love. You know, appreciation. It ties in, all that ties in together. You know, a lot of things we do, we feel like we're forced to do. We don't really want to do it. We just do it because the Creator says for us to do it. Now, what the Most High tells you to do is good that you do it. It's good that you do it, but it's best that you do it understanding why you're doing it. And even if you don't understand it, you're doing it for the simple reason that the Most High said to do it, and you do it with joy and gladness. So yes, you're very right, Abba. I just want to give a shout out to one of the sisters I see here in the room that we go back long, long, long ways. Way, way, way back in the 80s almost. And that's Sister Bahira Yisrael. She's one of the sisters here from Philly. She used to congregate with us in Temple Kifarim when we was here. Her and her husband, all of her children, her whole family. She's a strong sister in this way. She's been around for a long time. She's not new to this, and she's a good sister. So welcome, sis. Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High be with you, and tell your husband I said Shabbat Shalom as well. All right, Ima, you got the floor, Ima. Thank you, Abba.
Okay, I believe Diana Zante Tariq is next.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today, my commandment is coming from Waikra 31 through 33. And it says, "And you shall guard my commands and do them, for I am the Most High. And do not profane my Kodesh name, and I shall be Kodesh among the children of Israel, for I am the Most High, who Kadosh you, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am the Most High." Now this law right here, when I read it, it kind of got really deep for me, but to keep it simple, we are not to profane. The Most High he's holy. He's Kodesh. He's separate. He's completely set apart from every other falsehood, every other ideology that there is known to man. He's separate from it all. And the deeper that I study, the things of the Most High, when we think of profane, a lot of times, when I was raised up in Christianity, when we thought of profane, we thought of like things that everybody, including the world, seen as, worst of the worst. When we think of profane, we think of, we don't think we could possibly be profaning, because when we think of profane, we think of something, an explosion. But, the Creator is showing me like it's a lot of things that we do and can do that profanes the Most High's name, or that will tear down that set apartness from His pureness and the wickedness of the world. So in this commandment, when you go up a little bit, when you go the verses above it, he's talking about like 24. It says, "Do not bring to the Most High what is cut, bruised, torn, crushed, nor do it in your land." And then the verse before it talks about the lamb and not being deformed, not having any, so the Most High does not want anything that has been touched by anything else, like period. Even if it's just something as small as the clothes. We think of clothes as something small, but anything He tells us not to do, by us doing it, it could be how could I say it? It could be, profaning in a sense, because like I said, anything that makes that separation of Him in the world void, He's being profane. Us proclaiming to be who we are and taking everything of His and trying to mix it, like our desire to just have like everything, like you were talking about earlier, like our pleasures. Like we don't really understand how deep it goes and how much, just our desire to always mix what the Most High had, but like His pureness with something else, or to still please ourselves or please the flesh, which is the battle. It's just, yeah, we can be profane the Most High in a lot of ways and not even realizing it, and that's what I'm realizing. With that, I yield, Zehu.
May the Most High be praised. You said something real profound there. You said that we put a separation. If we don't put a separation between the Most High and the world, that's how we profane him. And you're right. Everything that we do, we have to bring separation between the Almighty and the rest of the earth and everything else in the earth. We have to hold the Most High to a different level of standard of obedience, loyalty, discipline, and righteousness. We have to, because if we don't, then we're making him as a common thing or a commoner, just like everything else, and we can't do that. That's something that we have to prohibit ourselves from doing and from allowing others to do as well. Iman, you want to address that? The site? Total Rababe.
Amen, yeah.
So I know you got some commandments in there up the top. I think Ra gave us a commandment too. I think a couple people put commandments in there up higher. So you may want to start up there and pull them down.
Okay. Also, I just want to remind everybody there's 19 people in the room and 12 likes. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. While you're viewing our page. Is that Allah up here?
Yeah, I thought it was, but if it's not, I could be mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm still trapped in this flesh.
Sister Hadassah says, sadly, so many Israelites walk around keeping the commandments begrudgingly as if a burden because their heart hasn't been converted. Their spirit hasn't transformed. They still crave defilement. Shaking my head. We have to love the Creator and his ways. Love this walk because we see it is told and not think of what we lost and rejoice in what we gain in Abiyah. Too many out here like Cypher in the Matrix.
Very good. May the Most High be praised. I forget who Cypher is, sis, so you might have to pull up Cypher and tell everybody who Cypher is so that they can remember how they are, so they can learn, see their faults and their ways. Read on, please. But that was great advice, Sister Hadassah.
Sister Yashara has a law.
Deuteronomy 23 and 21. When you make a vow to your Elohim, do not delay to pay it. For your Elohim is certainly requiring it of you, and it shall be a sin in you. It made me think about when we having hard times and we praying through it, and we promise to change and do better. And when we get better and do better, we don't actually live up to the vow, keep up to the promise.
Boy, you just made a smile come on my face. Would that be it? That's all you wanted to say?
Yes.
Total Rabab, may the Most High be praised. I was just having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and we was going down memory lane. My daughter's 17. And I was telling her about the time when she was born. And before she was born, I was incarcerated. I was incarcerated behind them bars in that prison house, right? And I was in jail for some bad stuff. Some people, I actually did do what I was in jail for, but yeah, I was. But I wasn't the one supposed to went to jail. I went to jail because it was just bad. I ain't gonna tell you anything right now, but just let me tell you the important part. So while I was in jail, sis, this applies to your commandment, and so I learned this the hard way. When I was in jail, the person who put me in jail was a wife of mine. See, I wasn't gonna tell you all that, but I gotta tell you anyway. She was a wife of mine, and what happened is, to make a long story as short as possible, but give you all the information. I came in my house one day. I had her son, bringing her back to her because she lived in a different house, and that was my house, but her house. So I had her son, I take her upstairs, but as I walk in the house, two guys on the floor, homosexual dudes, two faggots. One of the faggots was her brother, and one of the faggots was her brother's friend. So I go upstairs with the baby. Her and I is upstairs now. We arguing. She says, we arguing. So I give her son. I leave the house. I drive up the street. I end up coming back to the house. But before I went in the house, I stopped and listened at the door, and I heard her inside the door saying, y'all should have kicked his motherfucking butt. You know, who the F he pop. You know, she's typing him up. So I knocked on the door. Had keys in my pocket, but I knocked on the door. So I go to the door. And a fight broke out. Somebody ended up getting shot. Somebody ended up getting stabbed. And I ended up going to jail. So I get into prison. I get down to the police station. They taking all my information. And the police officer says to me, you know why you here? I said, no, I don't know why I'm here. He said, because your wife told us that you were the instigator. You started all that. Yeah, you did this and you did that, but you started it. And she lied because it was her brother and his faggot friend. And she wanted to protect them. So she lied on her husband to protect them. And they took her word for it and arrested me and locked me up. So when I was in jail awaiting my trial, because I had to go to court and fight this thing in court. So while I was in court, while I was still in jail in my jail cell, I promised, Prince got some shortcomings too that he has to be completely transparent about because he's the spiritual leader. You should know everything about your spiritual leader. So while I was in jail, we don't get no violations, sis. I'm going to tell you all about it. So while I was in jail, I said, Creator, you know how I teach y'all how to pray when you really need something from the Creator? Oh, I was praying. I was giving it up. I was in my fast state because I couldn't eat nothing. I was vegan, and then all I could eat was oranges and whatever. But I was really fasting, and I was real deep in my meditation, my prayer. I know how to beseech the Most High, and I utilize that energy to do so. And I said to the Creator, oh, Creator, he didn't tell me to say this. This is what I said because I wanted it so bad. Creator, you get me out of this mess. I promise you. I'm going to leave that woman alone. I ain't going to never mess with that woman no more, Creator. That's what I said to the Almighty. I promised the Creator I was going to leave that woman alone and wasn't going to never mess with that woman again. I promised him that. I promised him. I got out of jail. He allowed me to get out of jail. And by the way, I beat the case. I was found not guilty. So it's not too much that I can say right now that's going to get me in trouble because they can't retry you for the same thing once you go through a jury and it's found not guilty. You could. If you commit murder and come back and say, see, I did it after you was found not guilty, you could. But I didn't do that. I'm telling y'all that I did what they said I did, but I wasn't the instigator. I don't instigate nothing. But I told y'all this story before. I messed up. And I messed up when I did this. I said to the Creator, if you get me out of this situation, Creator, I ain't never going back to that woman again. And just so that y'all know, the Creator told me not to be with the woman in the first place, but I was hard-headed. What I teach y'all about earlier, giving in to your own pleasures, your own desires. When the Creator's law sit right here before you, giving, I'm telling y'all that from experience. I'm not just making this stuff up. 90% of the things I teach from my own personal experience because I lived it, but I learned it. So therefore, when I promised the Most High that I wouldn't be with that woman no more, I got out of jail. Maybe 2 months later, I found a way to be involved with that woman again. First, you think you fake yourself out by thinking you got to help her out. She got your child. She had 2 children by me at the time. You be thinking you got to help her out some kind of way. So then you get a little bit closer. Then you get a little bit closer. Then 2 weeks later, you're a little bit closer. You're starting to have these long conversations. Next thing you know, you're at a house. That's why I tell you, don't even set yourself up for it. Stay away, flee. I told you that earlier today. Don't even think that you're strong enough to deal with that, because nature kicks in a different tone. And most of us don't know how to fight against nature. Next thing I know, I'm having sex with the girl again. And that's when I had this daughter right here. Right after I got out of jail, 9 months later, she was born. Because I did not submit myself truthfully to the Almighty. I made an agreement, like you said, Sister Cheryl. I made an agreement with the Most High, but I didn't keep my word. Do you know what kind of repentance I had to do for that? When I came to the realization that I lied to the Creator? Oh, man. You can't imagine the hell that the Creator took me through in my life. You can't imagine it as a result of what I did with Him by lying to Him. So when I speak now and I teach and I represent the Almighty, I'm coming to you and I'm giving it to you raw, because I've experienced it. I know what it's like. I know what it's like for a man to fall victim to a piece of snatch, because I've done it. And that's why I built myself up so strong to be the way I am today, because I know what it's like to give in to the Most High, give in to what the Creator desires of you, or turn your back and do what you desire. So therefore, when I teach it, I'm teaching it from experience. I'm not one of those people who talk because I think I see something. I'm telling you what I've experienced. So I know it's the fact. I know it's the truth. I know what it brings about. And that's what 90% of the things that I teach. The Creator took me through some stuff, man. So sis, I fully understand where you're coming from. Fully. And I had to make amends to the Most High to the highest level that I knew how to. Fasting, praying, but yet changing my ways and becoming disciplined to learn how to be a man of my word, to keep my word. My whole life had to change. And I was teaching Torah back then, but I was one of those teachers that I talk about right now. When you hear me talking about them, a lot of times I'm talking about how I used to be. A lot of times, like right now, that's how I used to be. My whole life had to change. Because if you want to be better, you can't be better being the same person you are when you realize you got to change. That person that gets you to the point where you realize you got to change is the person you got to escape and run from. So that's what I had to do. And I changed all of that. All of that. And now I view my responsibility to the Creator where I will not give up eternity for a piece of flesh. I won't do that for flesh and blood. I won't do that. I will not trade in my eternity for my own personal desires ever again. And I would ask that you all would take that same type of approach toward your service to this King. All that stuff is temporary, but eternity lasts forever and forever and forever. Leolam Wa'ed. And it ain't worth it. All right? So thank you, sis, for that commandment. I just thought I would share that with you all to give you all an act of encouragement to let you see what we need to do and how serious this matter is. I swore to the Most High Creator, I'm leaving, I'm done. You get me out of this, I'm done with that girl. I went to court, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not like 5, I don't know how many charges. I might have had about 14 charges. All of them was not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And free man, you can leave. And I went to leave. But and I was strong enough when I was incarcerated that I knew I was done with this chick. But when I got free, I got back out in the world. Reality started kicking in, and I had to not. Oh, y'all leaving? I had to Nashim at the time, but it just wasn't strong enough, and I gave in to the wrong desires, and that's what I did. I fell victim, and I had to apologize to the Creator and fast and pray and go into isolation for a period of time, a long time, to get myself strong again. And may the Most High be praised. But I'm grateful and I'm thankful that He spared me, because in all of that, with the position that I held, He could have just removed me and took me out. And it would be nothing that I can say, because I deserved it, because I fell victim to it. But let the Most High's will be done in all things. May the Most High be praised. Torah Rabbah. All right. Amy, you want to go to someone on the sideline?
Okay. So it's just comments, but I'll read them. Well, I'll read Sister Opal's law first. Sister Opal's law can be found in the book of Deuteronomy, BARREN, chapter 6, verse 6. And it reads, "And these words which I command thee this day shall be upon thy heart." And her explanation, she said it's talking about the commandment that he wants us to keep.
Absolutely. You should put the law and the words of the Most High upon your heart and hold it there and not let it go. May the Most High be praised. To the Rabbah.
And then Ahmedatiah says, Cypher hated live. Cypher hated. He's describing Cypher when you ask about him. Cypher hated living in the truth of reality. He preferred to live in the illusion and the lie, knowing that it's a lie just for the simulated pleasure.
Was that the guy who betrayed the crew? Okay, all right. Now, see, Abba, thank you. You helped me get that one, God. Thank you.
He was also a betrayer of those who chose to walk in the truth.
There you go. All right, very good. Total Rabbah. I remember now. Pulled out a gun on everybody, tried to kill everybody. Yeah, okay. May the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah.
And then Sister Hadassah says, oh, she was agreeing with Ab. Basically, he absolutely was the worst kind of traitor. Those are the most dangerous to be around, and sadly, too many of them masquerading as Israelites.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then Sister Hadassah also says, all praises, like Esau gave up his birthright for a mere bowl of stew. No flesh or fleshly desire is worth losing the kingdom and the king, our creator.
That's right. Absolutely. May the Most High be praised, sis. So family, this is the time. If you want to put your commandment in the sideline, you can type it. If you want to come onto the screen to voice your commandment, you can do that as well. This is the time where we give out the commandments of the Most High, and then we give an explanation of what it means to us. May the Most High be praised. You got the floor, bro.
All right. Shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Mine is in Ezekiel 18, verse 27 to verse 28. Again, I said again, when the wicked man turneth away from his wicked that he hath committed, and doeth that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive, because he considereth and turneth away from all his transgressions that he hath committed. He shall surely live, he shall not die. So I talked to a lot of Hebrews and Israelites, and they really believe that when you die, it's over. There's a lot of Israelites out here that believe that when you die, it's over. There is a reward for a man that buckle down and serve God and keep his commandments. They do not have the same fate as someone that rob and steal and dishonor their mother and you know, and do all this evil stuff. So when El Shaddai said, he shall surely live, he shall not die, everybody got to die. Everybody got to die. Like 3 people didn't die: Ezra, Enoch, and Elijah. So when El Shaddai said, he shall surely live, he shall not die, what is he talking about? After death. You die 2 times. You die 2 times. Your flesh die. Everybody's flesh got to die. But your spirit, that goes somewhere. And I truly believe Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, these saints in the book, they are not experiencing the same fate as Biggie Smalls and all these people that DMX. Like, yo, you kidding me? Nah, it's got to be a separation. And I know it's something after death, man. God have a reward for men that serve God and keep his commandments. And people that don't serve God and keep his commandments, there's a punishment. So that's all I want to
say. Very good. And I happen to agree with you. And this is what I need to talk to you about. The commandments are found from Genesis to Deuteronomy. So when you bring forth a law, you're supposed to bring forth one of the laws from Genesis to Deuteronomy.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, what you brought forward was a great understanding, a great teaching, and it's a great commandment. It's an agreement, a covenant that the Most High entered in with us. It's a beautiful piece. And you expounded on it very well, and I agree with you. I honestly don't believe that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob have received the same thing as Biggie Smalls and what's that other guy named? The Dog. I don't believe that. So yes, I'm with you on that. But you got to grab one of those commandments from the book of the law and bring it forward. No, it's cool, man. It's your first time hearing this. You ain't never heard this before. So it's cool. Go ahead, do your thing, bro. You got one for us already, or you got to search for it? I give you some time if you need. Want no time?
I guess so.
All right, we got you. May the Most High be praised. Well, it was a great saying. I mean, it's a great, covenant. It's good. We understand, we believe, we accept. He's right on point with that. Was there anyone else who wanted to give us a commandment?
There's no more in the comments. So
Okay.
if they are. But just remember, you guys, to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. I think I said everything. Comment so that it can be on the algorithm, and just share it so people can see what we're talking about. Welcoming them to this platform. Toda.
Okay.
One more.
All right, let's go, bro. You got it.
Leviticus 19, verse 3. Everybody got it? I say, "You shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbath. I am the Lord your God." And we look into that word fear, and when people see fear, you think scared. El Shaddai didn't mean when you see your father or your mother, oh, you run. How I know? Because in Genesis, when they ate of the wrong tree, and El Shaddai came down, they ran. God said, "Yo, we all right, man. We all right. What y'all doing? Y'all doing hiding." So hiding from God, that's not righteousness. God didn't want us to hide from him. He did that one time at the foot of Mount Sinai to prove the people. He came down with the mountain skipping and the mountain on fire, and the people stood afar off. But Moses came and told him, "Fear not, for God come to prove you." He just did that to scare you. Yeah, he did that to scare you. That's when they first met God. But other than that, you don't want us scared of your parents like that. Or because we use the same word as fear, you use the same word for him. You fear God, you have to fear your parents. It's the same word. So he don't mean scared, run. He means fear. You scared to offend, scared to go against, scared to go against his words, scared to go against his laws. That's the fear God is talking about. And that's the fear God is talking about with your parents, your father, and your mother. You don't mean just run from them. No. He mean be scared to go against their word. Be scared to go against them. Things like that. That's what I want to say.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. I like to use the phrase, afraid to disappoint him. Yeah, don't you want to be scared of something, be scared to disappoint him. Scared to let him down. Yeah, you're right, bro. That's right. Lioness is hot, boy. Lioness is right there with us today. Where's that comment at, Lioness? I see it in the chat, but I don't see it on the screen.
It's not showing up here for some reason anymore.
I wonder why.
Well, she's on Facebook. So
Yeah.
People on YouTube aren't going to see it anyway, but I'm not seeing it no more either. So.
I don't know why. Let's see if this shows up. Nope. I don't know what the problem is, but hopefully Creator will, and we'll get it ready by next week. So Lion, it's a whole lot of comments in here. And Lioness, please forgive us. And anybody else that's commenting, please forgive us, because we can no longer see the post from the page on the screen. I don't know why it's still connected, but yet we can't see anything. So we're not intentionally ignoring what you're saying. We just can't see it. So please forgive us.
I could try to read them if.
No, oh, if you want to, you can.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to your page.
But I don't even see what I just posted. Oh, here it is. Go ahead. She says, I'm still here.
Hold on one second.
Babe, if you got to go through it to find it, it's okay. I can read it here, or we could just leave it alone.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, she said.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to talk about this while you're reading. This is what the brother said. Elgin Barrow. He said, there's a lot of laws and commandments beyond the 10. Don't cheat your brother. Don't tax your brother. Keep equal measures when weighing. Men should not dress in female attire. A lot of laws. And you're absolutely correct, bro. And we don't just say the 10 commandments. You can go from Genesis to the book of Deuteronomy. There's a whole lot of laws like what you just gave. You gave some powerful examples of what the law says and what they are. So yes, you are absolutely right. And what you said was worth putting up. So therefore we posted. So I take it that those are your commandments for the day. May the Most High be praised. But he's absolutely right. He said, don't cheat my brother. Boy, I would pray that I never cheat my brother. Ever. I don't want to do that. But Ima, I don't think you're going to be able to see the post on Facebook.
I see it. I'm on your live.
So wait a minute. You can see the post that was up before you logged in?
Yes.
Oh, I thought Facebook, you only can see from the moment you logged in. You can't scroll up and see anything.
No, I see what she says. I'm still here.
No, before that, what was before that?
When she put, we have a law on what material to wear and the world knows it.
You all the way up there?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't see that part, but go ahead. Oh, yeah, I see that. I see that. Is that as far as you go?
No, it goes up, but I read all that already.
All right, so go ahead. Read on, please.
Okay. Sister Lioness Fire says, we have a law on what material to wear, and the world knows it. That's why they do what they do. And then she says, the Most High knew, I guess she's speaking about your situation, Abba. The Most High knew then you was going to fall as well as coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, when she's talking about when Abraham just read his law, she said, facts, they knew they did wrong, they had fear.
Absolutely. May the Most High be praised. Hey, sister, I'd like to thank you for your participation and your cooperation as well, because you've been here since you came. You've been here ever since. You're here every week. May the Most High bless you as well for all the effort and the time you put in. You ain't one of those who just sit there and listen. You contribute to the conversation, and that's important. Like my brother Elgin just now, he just dropped up. He said, hey, yo, there's more than just that. You're right, bro. Voice your opinion, because we need to hear your opinion. Everyone's opinion is important here. We give y'all a voice. We give y'all the opportunity to speak. We'll even let y'all come to the platform and say what you want to say on the platform. We do that. That's just who we are. We have nothing to hide, and we're not trying to be selfish. We want everybody's opinion to be heard and felt and understood. Even if you have a different point of view, it's okay. But just be ready to be questioned when you say something that's like really off the charts. You may have to be questioned, and you can stand up to that without it becoming an argument or something contagious. We don't do that part right there. So may the Most High be praised. Okay, here we go. If there's any more commandments, family, please, now is the time. Post your commandments in the room, because we get ready to move forward with today's lesson. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not bear false witness. See, you can't say the 10 commandments. You can't say none of the 10 commandments. The basic laws you cannot say. But any of them outside of the basic laws, as an adult, you can say. If one of the children come on the platform and they use those commandments, then that's fine. They can use it. But outside of that, we have to use real powerful commandments, things that people don't commonly say. And that's what we have to do. And as I think of what commandment I want to say, it runs, my mind just starts racing because I try not to do as others do and go into the book and get my commandment and then come back and say, hey, Prince, here's a commandment. I try to remember the laws of the Almighty so that I'm a walking testimony to the Almighty. So I try to remember them. And I try to remember some of the laws that is not so commonly remembered and spoken in our ears. That's what I try to do. So when I was preparing my lesson earlier in the week, I grabbed a whole lot of commandments. I said, I'm going to say that one. I'm going to say this one. I'm going to say this one. And then when the Shabbat get here, I can't remember none of them. I've been forgot every one that I said I was going to remember. But I'll be trying. So let me think for a second. When you go into your enemy's land and you capture your enemy's land, if they have a house of worship, now I have to paraphrase this. If they have a house of worship, you have to destroy the house. You have to tear it down, burn it down. You cannot reuse it and rededicate it to the service of the Creator. Anything that's made out of gold or anything that can withstand the fire, you put it through the fire. Anything that can withstand the fire, you put it through the fire. And if it can't withstand the fire, you put it through the water. And then you sanctify it as holy unto the Most High, and you can utilize it. So that's me paraphrasing what that law was just talking about. And basically what it's saying is that anything that was used to worship an idol, the Creator don't want that to his service unless you change the spiritual vibration of that item. If it's a house, you got to tear the house down completely. It's gone. The Most High recognizes and respects the value of gold and silver and bronze, all those things. So he tells you if they can withstand the fire, put them through the fire and melt it down. And in some instances, he tells you to even do away with that. He don't even want that. But in this particular instance, when you captured your enemy, you can burn it down and you can reuse it. Once you change the vibrational energy of it, you can change it. You can utilize it. All right? Any questions? So where that's at in the law, Prince? I don't know where it's at right now. I can't find the verse where it is, but I know it's there. And if we need to go find it, I know we can go find it. Look up the word where it says if it can withstand the fire, then you burn it. And if it can't withstand the fire, you got to put it through water. Look that up, and then you'll find the answer to exactly where it is, because I don't know off the top of my head where it is. So may the Most High have praised. May the Most High be praised. Shalom, my brother. Shalom. What's going on, man? How you feeling? When you coming on? When you coming on? I can't hear you. Your brother got the mute button on, man. I can't hear you. You got to take that mute button off. Man, look, I'll do it for you. Go ahead, say something.
No, I said I'm gonna call you and let you know when.
Okay. All right, wonderful. May the Most High be praised. It's good seeing you, though.
You too, my brother.
All right. Shalom, shalom. Be safe, man.
Okay. Shalom. Okay.
All right, family, we're going to get this thing started. We're going to get this thing started. Are y'all ready? Yeah, they ready, Prince. All right, we're going to get it in. All right, there we go. There we go. There go our lesson. Oh, got a little bit too much for y'all. There we go. That's where we starting. All right, family. I hope everybody's here with me today. We're going to go to the book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 1. Samuel chapter 1, verse 1. Is Miss Anita here? Sister Anita, you present? Come on now.
Are we in 1 Samuel?
Yes, 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1. Yes, supposedly, Sister Sakari, there's 613 commandments, supposedly. But I happen to think there's more than that. This brother, hold on, family. I got to, hold on, I got to do this. This brother here, he's pulling some stuff. Please forgive me, y'all. But the brother Elgin, where you been all my life, brother? Where you been since we've been having these classes? You want some stuff, man? Brother Elgin say all priests must wash their feet and hands before entering the tabernacle when performing all duties in the commandment. That's deep. I thought I was the only one who recognized that. That's what we do. We do these things, but let me explain to you how we even take it further. When you make prayer, you should do the same thing. Those who are in leadership positions, who consider themselves to be priests or kings or however you feel yourself to be, if you're a Levite, however it is, when you approach unto the Most High, you should wash your hands and your feet and then approach to the Most High. So my brother's 1,000% correct. But there's a lot of people who don't do these things. Like he said, he believes it's 633. There's a lot of people who don't abide by these laws. There's a lot of people who don't even know that these laws even exist. So the simple fact that you was able to bring that out shows me that you're working with something special there. And maybe one day we can have a conversation. But may the Most High be praised that you had the insight to pull such a powerful verse. Shabbat Shalom, Aim. Aim says Exodus 22 and 28. Iman, you want to read that?
I think it's 613 laws.
She said
Yeah,
28.
I know what they say it is, but you know, I don't take their word for it. Exodus 22, verse 28.
Okay. And Ketar law can be found in the book of Exodus, Shemot, chapter 22, verse 28. And it reads, "Thou shalt not delay to offer of the fullness of thy harvest and of the outflow of thy presses. The firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me," unto the Creator. And okay. I guess her explanation is you should not dishonor the Creator in words or deeds or curse your leaders. Why would you? If you are under a cursed leader, the curse will likely follow you also.
She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. And not just under a cursed leader, but if you're in a relationship with a cursed husband, that curse will also follow you. She's absolutely right. May the Most High be praised. Thank you, Aim, for that contribution. Toda Rabbah. Is there something that I'm missing? Okay, we're back on point, right?
Okay.
Okay. So here we are, family. Get your notebooks, your pens, your paper, your notepads, and your recording devices, and set them on go because we get ready to get started. But before we do that, we want to ask everybody to push the like button, everybody to share, go to the link on Zoom, in YouTube, hit the share button, hit the copy button, and then go to your phone and your messengers and just link the message to different people in your messengers and send them all, invite them out to the group. We get ready to talk about some stuff that needs to be known and broadcast throughout the nation of Israel. Some serious stuff. Okay? Some serious stuff. All right. So while we're doing that, we're going to get forward. We're going to move forward. Iman, how many likes we got? We got the likes up, Iman? How many likes we got?
Yes, we have a likes up.
We got like 18 likes. 1,800 likes, but we got 2,000 people in the room. We got 200 more likes to go get. Come on, y'all. Get it up. Get it up. I can't tell how many shares we got, so we got to get that going, y'all. We got to get that going. Let's get it going. Let's make it happen. All ready? Sister Ornette, are you not coming in to read for us today?
I didn't see her on the platform.
All right, great, bro. Appreciate it. All right, Sister Ornette is not speaking up. If she is here, she's not speaking up. Do we have any volunteers that would like to read today? Anybody in the audience we need to send a link to that want to come on to the platform and read for us today? If you think you got that profound voice, you got that excellent spirit, you think you can do a great job, is there anyone? All right, Ima. I didn't want you to do it, Ima, because your background sounds a little distorted, but I don't think we have any other choice. We got to go with you, Ima. Not that you're not a great choice. It's just that your background seems like it's got some distortion going on back there, and I don't know what it is.
It's the air conditioner.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Meek, are you able to get any closer to your computer?
It's right in front of me.
Yeah, then I don't know. I don't know. We'll just try to keep moving.
Okay.
If it's too bad, then I'll just take over.
That's it all.
All right. We're in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 1. Let's go.
All right. We're in the book 1 Samuel or Shemuel, chapter 1, verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of the hill country of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Yeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, or Kana, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Kana had no children.
Stop right there for a second, please.
Okay.
This scripture that we just read, it says that this man Elkanah was an Ephraimite, but he wasn't an Ephraimite in bloodline. He was an Ephraimite because he lived in a territory owned by Judah under the name of Ephraim. Okay? That's why he was considered an Ephraimite. But his bloodline was of the tribe of Levi. You remember Moshe's tribe? You remember Moshe, how Moshe was out of the tribe of Levi or Levi, the house of Levi? Amram and Jochebed, his mother and father, was out of the tribe of Levi. This young man, Elkanah, was out of the tribe of Levi as well. Now, Elkanah is the father of Samuel, Prophet Samuel. Prophet Samuel lived and in the service of the Most High in the holiest place on the earth at that time in Shiloh, at the Beit Knesset or the Mikdash. He lived at that place. He was dedicated to the service of the Most High and all these things we're about to talk about in a few moments. The only way that you can be on that level of servitude to the Most High is that you are of the Levitical tribe. Samuel, who was Elkanah's son, was of the house of Kohath. He was a Kohanim, priest. The same house that betrayed the Almighty. The same house that betrayed Moshe and tried to go up against Moshe. Y'all remember when the earth opened up and swallowed Kohath and all those people? I bet you didn't know this. Prophet Samuel come from Kohath's lineage, Korah. The tribe of the Levite is Kohath. Korah was a Kohathite. Samuel was a Korim or a Koramite. He was out of the tribe of Koram. Koram was the man who went up against Moshe, him and Dathan, Abihu, and 250 other men, and told Moshe, you don't supposed to do this. We got the same right as you because they from the same tribe. We can do this. You ain't got to do it. And they tried to usurp the position over Moshe and the family. Well, that's the tribe that Samuel, prophet Samuel, come out of that lineage of Kohath, yes, but Korah, who went against Moshe. When the earth opened up, it swallowed Korah and Dathan, Abihu, and all those other men and their families, but it didn't kill all of them. It was a select few that they killed. And when you read up in the Psalms, a lot of the Psalms was written by the sons of Korah. Some of his children wrote Psalms. So what I'm getting at is that this whole point of them going against Moshe, their ancestor going against Moshe, and the earth opening up in such a dramatic feat being done on that particular day, convinced them for the rest of their lives that they was on the wrong side. They left the left side and got on the right side with Moshe. And they got in a proper alignment with the Almighty for the rest of their lives. So much that they began to write prophecy, they began to write Psalms, and prophet Samuel was born from their lineage. That's how the Most High accepted them. So what am I saying ultimately? This is what I need you to understand, family. That no matter what your family have done centuries and decades and even weeks ago, no matter what you have done yesterday, the week before, a month before, no matter what your abominations was before the Almighty, he's a merciful king. He will, he do forgive. But you have to show him that you're worth being forgiven by recognizing what you did wrong, confess your wrong actions, and turn from your wicked ways. And that means that whatever you confess to the Creator that you know you did wrong, you can never go back again. You can never go back again in that direction. See, I'm speaking from experience. Remember, y'all? I tried to go back one time. This ain't no game. This king is real. Let me tell you a little thing, what happened, small thing. And this is real. Maybe about 6 years later, after I left that young lady, I finally left her alone. The young lady I told y'all about earlier, finally left her alone, right? And she was still living in my house, but I had left because she wanted to be with somebody else. And I found out she was with somebody else because I had divorced her. So she wanted to be with somebody else. It was cool. Let you do your thing. So, yeah, I tell it all. I ain't got no secrets. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed. I let you know. But it's real. And this is what we have to remember. So I left. She was out my house, and I was living with one of my other Nashim somewhere. At that time, I think I had 3 Nashim. And one day, I had somewhere to go, but I wanted to come by and mess with her. I came by, and I messed with her and teased her, and I wanted to have intercourse with her, knowing that she had already been with another man, straight violations against the Creator. I know y'all supposed to see y'all leadership as perfect, but that's a lie. So I'm trying to tell y'all what happened with me, my personal life. So I was messing with her, flirting with her. You know how we do what we do. Fooling myself, thinking that I can take it to a certain limit and not go overboard, not violate the laws of the Creator by actually doing it. But we get some kind of pleasure as men, knowing that the woman want to lay with us. So we get them to that point, and then we step off and leave them. Y'all know how it is. You know what I mean? We think we did something because, yeah, she want me, but we leaving because we in control. So I left knowing that she wanted to do something, right? After she was already in violation and after she was untouchable, I could never have her again. So I get in my car and I pull off. Man, I get like 4 blocks away. And I get this little crazy spirit over me that says, man, go back and knock them boots and get on out of here and keep it moving. This is how sick I was in my mind. Sick. I'm thinking, yeah, I could go back and hit that real quick and go ahead and do what I got to do for the rest of my day. Man, I hit a big U-turn in the middle of the street, drove up the block. I was cool. You know, I'm getting back. I know she going to give me something because I'm ready. You know, I'm going back up the street. I got 1 block from my house. Smack! A truck hit me. Spun my car around, knocked me on the other side of the street. The Creator don't play, man. You don't play with this king. Do not do what I've done, what I'm guilty of, and tell the Creator something and don't do it. Don't go out there and give your word to the Most High and don't fulfill it. The Most High will get you. So when people look at me today and wonder why I'm so strict and stern and disciplined, it wasn't always this way. I had to be knocked upside my head. I had to get locked up. I had to get shut out. I had to be poor. I had to be homeless to understand to never turn against this king. And all I'm doing today, family, is trying to show y'all what I learned. You don't play with the Almighty. Oh, man, I knew the law, and I just wanted to do the manly thing and get that girl hooked on me all over again, knowing she couldn't be touched by me no more. She wasn't mine. She belonged to some other dude that she was with, whoever he was. I couldn't have her, and I knew it. But I went back to go get her a little bit. Who gonna know? Who she gonna tell? Who gonna bear witness that Prince was a liar, a thief, an adulterer, all type of things? Who would know? Nobody would know. Man, I went to drive up the street. As soon as I stopped at the stop sign, and I stopped my car at the stop sign, looked around, nothing was coming. And I went to proceed to the intersection. Bang! A truck hit me and knocked me on the other side of the car. I got out the car like wasn't nothing wrong because the Creator protected me, even in his correction. Even in him correcting me, he protected me. And I said, whoa, man. And from that day forward, the Most High never had to worry about me chasing after a piece of snatch. Well, that wouldn't even be true. From that day forward, I never went back with anything that went against the law. Never. Never did anything even close to that ever again in my life. I stayed fast and disciplined, and I separated myself from those things that I knew that wasn't right in the sight of the Creator. And I stayed away from it. So I didn't get this way just by chance and coincidence or somebody teaching a great lesson and I'm saying, oh, I can see that. No, I didn't. That's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. It went that way because I was being disrespectful to the Creator and he had to get my attention. Why? Because he had a use for me. He wanted to use me. But I was prohibiting him from being able to use me because I was doing what I wanted to do. But no more. I gave that life up. I resigned from being a fool. And I'm thankful that the Most High took that sickness away from me and healed me. Because I wouldn't be able to be here today talking to you all in the level and the spirit that I'm doing today. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have been dead. I'd have been dead. I could have been dead at that time. And he had all right to take my life for what I was doing. He had all right to take me out of here. But he didn't. He still had mercy. And that's what I'm trying to share with you. No matter what you've done, no matter what your ancestors or your forefathers have done, the Most High can have mercy on you. But you have to repent and turn from your evil ways and never visit it ever again. And the Most High will have mercy on you as long as you're serious in the things that you say. So therefore, the point I'm trying to bring out is that Kohath or Korah and his people was shown mercy through their descendants because the descendants changed their behavior. And what their forefathers did was no longer held accountable against them. And they were raised up in the house of the Most High to the point where they was writing prophecies and psalms to the Almighty. And then Prophet Samuel was born, who was one of the greatest leaders in Israel we've ever had. One of the greatest prophets that ever walked the earth. He was born from a rebellious house. So on that side of the fence of rebellion, wickedness, and evil, righteous seeds can be planted and blossom. But you have to be serious with the Creator. You have to put aside all your own personal agendas and be about the agenda of the Almighty. And the Most High will have mercy on you. He will have mercy on you. So why am I saying all this, family? I'm saying all this because I want you to know that the Most High never used a perfect man to bring about his perfection. He always used imperfect people to bring about his greatness. Always. Dawid, Shlomo, Moses. Go down the list. The list goes on and on and on and on. They all were imperfect people to bring about the greatness of the Almighty. He can use you as well. He can use every one of you today to be a part of his great plan. All you have to do is submit yourself to the will of the Father, like I'm just explaining to you that Moses, Shlomo, King David, Dawid, like they all did. Let me share with you. Every one of them had a passion for the Most High that was unmatched in the world. Every one of them, even Shlomo. Shlomo went through all that he went through just to recycle and come back around because of the Most High's mercy. And then he left something on record for you from his examples for what he did and how he lived, so that you don't have to repeat what Solomon did. His mercy endures forever. But those men, they made those mistakes and they never walked in those mistakes again. And that's what I'm submitting to you, because you can do the same thing. No matter what you have done, no matter how you have violated the Creator, be it idolatry, be it adultery, be it murder, be it homosexuality, no matter what you have done to the Most High, he can forgive you of it. And you have to know that once you go to the Father and ask for forgiveness, that you have been forgiven, but you can never turn back in that direction again. Because he may not be merciful to you like he was to me. He might take you completely out. I'm grateful that the Most High didn't see fit to take me completely out, that he gave me opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to get it right. I'm thankful. And every time the Most High showed me his mighty hand, I had to go back and ask him for forgiveness and mercy and get that much deeper. But I see why he did what he did, to make me resilient in my life today, in my service to him. My loyalty and my dedication is unmatched. This ain't no game, man. This is real. About as real as life can be for any of us. He never have to worry about me doing anything even closely remote to the sick man or the sick male that I was. And I have to say male. I didn't arrive to my manhood until right before I met that young lady right there. At one point, I was a man, but I was tested and I fell so bad because I thought I was a man, but the Most High showed me I wasn't. And I lived in that test for about 20 years. 20 years! I lived in that test for about 20 years, not even understanding that I was being tested by the Most High. I didn't understand until it was all over. And when I separated from that last situation, I went on a fast for a whole year, probably a year and a half. A whole year and a half. I stepped away from Israel, meaning that I stopped going to congregations. They used to call me up, Prince, can you come teach? No, I can't teach right now. Right now, I'm a fraud. I'm not who I'm supposed to be. So I can't teach. I can't do this. Well, Prince, we want you to come in. Some people stopped talking to me because I wouldn't come and teach at their place of worship, because they didn't understand. But I could not stand up and represent the Almighty, and I knew that I had all these evil, wicked demons on me. I had to get them up out my system. So I had to do what I had to do to know how to do what I did, and I did it, and I was successful, at least in my opinion I was. And then the Most High elevated me gradually and brought me back to greatness, and here we are today. Like, for example, when I was living in that sinful state, that sick mind state, $200,000-$300,000 to go buy some land, and didn't buy one piece of land. And that went on for 20 years. Not one piece of, and had the money sitting right there, not one piece of land could be purchased because the Most High knew better than I knew that I was sick. And I wasn't right to be a spiritual leader of any land or any community or any organization. I was sick. But I had to find out for myself that I was sick. And I had to admit it to myself that I was sick. And then in 2017, I guess the Creator felt I was good enough. He said, bang, there it is. And we got 100 and something acres of land. Because the Creator said it's enough. Punishment is on its way over. And from that moment forward, I took all the education that I got and I moved forward. Just like the Most High had mercy on me, I can tell that because the same mercy is how the Most High had mercy on Korah and all of his descendants by raising up Samuel. Ready? Let's read on, please.
Okay. First, we're reading from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1. We are in verse 3. And this man went up out of his city from year to year to worship and to sacrifice unto the Creator of hosts in Shiloh.
Now let's stop for a second. From year to year, this man went up out of his city from wherever he was living at, Ramoth, Gilead, or Ephratah, wherever he was living, he went up and he went to Shiloh. I believe Shiloh was owned by Judah. He went to Shiloh to worship the Almighty. As Levites are supposed to, but so are the people. 3 times in a year. 3 times a year, all male must appear before me. Those holy days, the Chag. Oh, no, it wasn't Chag. Were they Chag? Shavuot? No, it was Chags. Every Chag we had to appear before the Almighty. And that's what we did. This is what they're talking about right here. 3 times a year he had to appear. But watch what takes place, because this is amazing how he does what he does and for the reason that he does it. Read on, please, Emma.
Okay. And the 2 sons, I'll read from the beginning. And this man went up out of his city from year to year to worship and to sacrifice unto the Creator of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with their priests unto the Most High. And it came to pass upon a day when Elkanah sacrificed that he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions.
Now stop for a second. It came to pass on that day when Elkanah sacrificed, only the priest was able to do sacrifices to the Most High. So this shows you that this man was of a special lineage, a special bloodline. He was of Kohath. He was a priest. Now pay close attention to these next words that we're about to read. Read on, please.
And when Elkanah sacrificed that he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions.
Now he gave to his wife Peninnah a portion. He gave it to her. He gave it to all of her children and all of her sons. So he had quite a few children by this young lady. I was told she had 10, but I didn't do the research to find it out yet. But he gave quite a bit to her. But watch this part right here. Read on, Emma.
But unto Cana he gave a double portion, for he loved Cana, but the Most High had shut up her womb.
Stop. Do y'all see how that goes? Peninnah he loved less. Hannah was his shining star. Hannah, it means grace. Hannah means grace. Hannah was his shining star. But Peninnah, it was his wife. She had 10 children from him. Something must have been good with Peninnah. But Hannah was that exceptional woman. And Hannah didn't even have any children by him. Usually a man falls in love with the woman that got his first son. He's so in love with her. This situation was different. Hannah didn't have any children, but yet she was the favorite. How do you think Hannah got to be the favorite of a man such as that? What did she do that earned her the right to be beloved by her husband? Hannah possessed a certain spirit. and you all have to hear what it is that I'm saying. Hannah possessed a spirit that made her unique in so many ways, that her husband, who was a real man, was willing to give her more in the way of worshiping the Almighty. He gave her more than he gave to his other wife, who had 10 children by him. She don't have no children, so why would he give her all that? Why is he preparing so much for her and she did so little? See, a lot of women today are confused. They think that in order to please a man, you got to have sex with a man. That's not where a real man's mind is. A real man's mind is not in the sense of having sex, but a real man's mind is in the sense of loyalty, discipline, obedience, and somebody that's workable. That's how you touch the heart of a real man. Hannah was all the things above. And how do I know this? Because as we read this story, if she wasn't this type of woman, she couldn't do the things that she's done. Regular women ain't going to do the things that Hannah is about to do and you're about to be exposed to. Regular women act and respond differently. Hannah was of a different spirit, a different nature. She knew how to get into her femininity and make her husband love her. I bet she didn't have no big mouth. I bet she wasn't talking back. I bet she wasn't so quick to voice her opinion once her husband asked something and requested something of her. I guarantee you she wasn't that kind of woman. And I bet you she was soft-spoken. When a woman begins to understand her strength, and I mean what I'm saying, when a woman begins to understand her strength, she demonstrates true power by understanding her strength. Here, we're going to see where Hannah demonstrates true power through prayer. Had she not understood her strength, she wouldn't have been able to do such a thing in the manner that she did it. A lot of women make prayer, but most women don't get what they're praying for. Most men don't either. And it's because we don't understand our strength. But Hannah understood hers. From the depths of her soul, she cried out to the Almighty. Raise your hand if you know how to cry to the Creator from the depths of your soul. We so comfortable in this life that it's very rare that we got to go that deep in our prayers. Therefore, we don't unlock that kinetic energy that gets through to the Almighty, because our prayers is just like words that we're saying out of our mouths. Although they are heard and they're recorded, they hold no significant weight when it's not coming from your inward parts. How many of you have actually cried out to the Creator from the depths of your soul? Anytime recent, anytime. It ain't until you get to cry to the Most High from the depths of your soul that your prayers your requests are answered or even entertained by the Almighty. They don't reach that level unless they come from a certain place. And they have to come from that place in order to get an audience with the Almighty. You might get some angels to hear your prayers. Angels don't hear no prayers. Yes, they do. And the angels carry your prayers up to the Almighty. You don't believe me? Look in the book of Genesis and you'll see. Come on now. You're talking to the prince and we about that life, man. I'm telling you what it is. First of all, if you can't see the Most High, which makes you think the Most High is going to entertain your prayers unless they come to him in a certain way? This woman knew how to get through. Remember, she's married to a priest. She's married to a priest who makes sacrifices to the Almighty. So that tells you a little bit about this woman. This woman was the woman who brought forth one of the greatest prophets Israel has ever known in the history of Israel, Prophet Samuel. brought forth one of the greatest prophets in this creation. So how much better was she as a woman than the average woman? Now, y'all got to understand what I'm saying to you. She had to be a remarkable woman for the Most High to use her womb to bring forth something as sacred and special as Samuel. She wasn't just your average woman. She was working on a level that most women are afraid to go to because it's going to look like they're weak for their man. She had no problem humbling herself to the level where others would look at her and say, "Ha, look at her. She must be drunk." That's how she gave it up. Hannah was about that life for real, where a lot of you stop at, "Oh, I don't want nobody looking at me like that, thinking something wrong with me." Hannah didn't care. She gave it up. She gave it up to this king. A lot of you don't want your husband saying a certain thing to you in the company of certain people. So therefore, you get boss bad with him. You start getting arrogant. You start getting him out where normally you feel offended because he said something in the presence of your sisters or your brothers or your father or your company. So you felt like he could have waited till he got home. So you lash back out and say something disrespectful to him. Hannah would have never done anything like that. Hannah would have kept her mouth shut and took whatever her husband said. And she probably wouldn't even have brought it back up. Watch this. Watch what happens. Read on, please.
And chapter
3 is where you left off. 3 is where you left off.
Okay. Well, no, I was at 6.
You was at 6? We got all the way down? No, yeah, we did. Oh man. Can you go back? Can you go back to 5, please?
Okay.
No, I don't think you read 5, but could you go back to 5 for me, please?
Okay. But Cana, he gave a double portion, but he loved Cana, but the Most High had shut up her womb.
Yes, you did read that. Thank you very much. The Most High has shut up the womb of the one that he favored. The Most High shut up her womb. She didn't bring forth any children, but she was the most beloved of her husband. Now, can you imagine the misery and the stress that she was going through, being married to a priest, but yet, and having a husband, but yet, and so many years they were married, but yet she didn't have any children by him? Can you imagine what she was feeling? She didn't have any children. So it was even doubly hard upon her. No children, not one. She never got to experience what motherhood was like, except she was a sister wife to a woman who had children who was evil and wicked. That's right. Rachel was most loved. The Most High shut her womb. Now, the Most High in this instance is punishing both her and the man. But for what? We don't know. Maybe it wasn't a punishment at all. Maybe it was the Most High waiting, like I said, when I was trying to buy that land and the Most High didn't let me get it because I wasn't right. Maybe the Most High had to perfect her husband and perfect her before they can bring about such a beautiful child. All right. Read on, please. He shut up her womb, and she was the most loved. Read on, please.
Verse 6. And her rival vexed her sore to make her fret, because the Creator had shut up her womb.
Her who?
Her rival.
Her rival. Her rival vexed her. And who was her rival?
Her sister wife.
It was her sister wife. Now we got to pay attention to this. I'm looking for a specific word in here. What verse are you on, Ima?
Verse 6.
Verse 6. Her adversarial wife. That word is Zarata. Zarata is a rival wife. Zarata. Now let's get back to the spirit of the lesson. Read that whole verse again, please.
Verse 6. And her Zarata vexed her sore to make her fret, because the Creator had shut up her womb.
Her sister wife, instead of comforting her, she ridiculed her. She used the fact that she had 10 children and Hannah didn't have any. She spoke ill about her. She put her in a position that was uncompromising, where she felt that she was better than her sister. Her sister wasn't good enough. Sometimes you get people in your life, family, that makes you feel like this, like you are not good enough. Like no matter what you do, it's never enough. And people grow emotions towards you, and they begin to hate you for no reason. Penina began to show signs of hatred for her sister for no real reason, no valid reason. Why was this? Why did her sister begin to show hatred for her? I think it was out of jealousy. And a lot of times, family, you got to remember, people are jealous of you, and you don't even know why they're jealous of you. Penina was probably jealous of her because her husband liked her more. Can you imagine what that's like? To be married to a man, and you can't, because a lot of you men. But as a sister, can you imagine what it is to be like to be married to a man, and you lay down on your back and wish your life and have all these children for him, but he shows more favor toward the sister wife than he do you? And this is another story for all those who say a man can only have one wife. We way past that in this conversation. He loved her with a special love, special favoritism. He loved her. He loved her so much that he had compassion for her. And because she didn't produce children for him, he used to give her a little extra all the time. So he gave her a double portion to take up for the sacrifices. Penina saw this, and Penina began to be a wicked wife, sister wife, to her husband's wife. She began to be wicked. She talked about her. She ridiculed her. She teased her. She used to front her sons and her daughters in front of her, and act like it wasn't nothing, just out of spite. Sometimes people will hate you, and you will not understand why they hate you. Sometimes it will be the very people that you took care of and provided for, and they'll have a secret envy and jealousy and hatred for you. And usually what it really is because they wish to be in your position, but the Creator chose you to be in that position and not them. And that's how Penina felt, because the Creator chose Hannah to be loved by her husband. It's not that he didn't love her, but he just loved her less. Penina. Read on, Ima. Let's see what's happening.
Verse 7. Verse 7. And as he did, so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Creator, so she vexed her. Therefore she wept and would not eat.
She vexed her, and she tried to hurt her. She became her rival. She showed a lot of hatred to her, dislike, and every moment she had, she made her life uncomfortable. Who wants to be married in a plural marriage with a sister wife that has so much hatred for you? I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying to you. Hannah didn't go to her husband and complain and say, hey, I don't want to be married because she's treating me this way. Hannah sucked it up. She took it on the chin. She didn't complain about, well, she didn't call me today. She didn't call me yesterday, and she's supposed to call me every morning when she wake up. She's supposed to be my sister wife. Hannah didn't bother with that small, minute stuff. Why? Because Hannah knew that that would disrupt the peace of her husband. And she didn't want to disrupt that peace in his spirit. So she sucked it up. But by her sucking it up, it made her strong spiritually. And I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying. Because she didn't complain, she kept all that internal, and it built up her passion and desire to have something to cry out for. Therefore, when she cried to the Creator had no choice but to hear her. Too many of us, we have problems and complications in our lives, and we want to express it through our mouths. Scientists tell you that that's good. Get it off your chest. Spiritually, it's not good. Let it build up inside of you. And when it comes time for you to get it off through prayer and meditation to the Almighty. Then you're crying to the Creator from your soul. Y'all understand what I'm saying? There's always going to be people who don't like you for reasons that they do not understand. Let that be one of the reasons. Because you don't carry your emotions on your sleeve. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how you feel. You never one of those who put your business out in the street. You're not a complainer. You're not a crier. You're not a whiner. You take your problems to the Almighty and you get results. And this is one of the ways that you do this. This is one of the ways to get those results. Stop making life for others difficult and start internalizing your pain. Let it grow inside of you. Let it build up inside of you. And then when you've gotten enough, take it to the threshold of the Almighty. Watch where she was at when she was making that prayer, to the threshold of the Almighty. But why did she have all this turmoil and pain inside of her? Why was all that pain there? It didn't have to be. It's because she was married to a rival wife. She had a wife that did not know how to be a sister wife. She had a wife that was out of proper alignment with womanhood. She had a really wicked woman as a sister wife. Elkanah chose one wicked and one righteous wife. He didn't mean to do it. It just happened that way. And she irritated her. She constantly did things to anger her. And let me share this with you. Your mind can be that bitter. Your mind can be that twisted. Your mind can be that hurt and upset that you yourself prohibit your womb from bearing fruit. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Your mind is a powerful thing. And that woman could have gotten on her nerves so bad that she could have helped to contribute to her not being able to produce fruit. Because when she did what she did, Hannah internalized everything and kept it in. And it can prevent your body from functioning properly. Remember how disease sets in? From the power of the mind, how disease sets in your body and you get sick from the way you think. Same thing with being barren. She could have gotten barren from the way she was thinking and internalizing everything that Penina was doing to her. But watch what she does. She does what I would advise all of you to do. Read on, please.
Verse
8.
Verse 8. And Elkanah, her husband, said unto her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons?
So he already knew what the problem was with her. What he didn't know was that her sister wife was causing problems for her, accepting the fact that she didn't have children. He thought it was basically because his wife didn't have a son. But look how it says. He don't say 10 children. He say 10 sons. Because back then, it was a greater reward for a man to have children, so they can help out and be a part of his legacy. Women, when you have women children, they marry out of the family and become a part of another person's legacy through their children. But when you have a man carries your seed down to your seed, down to your seed, 100 generations from then. That's why it was such a big thing for a man when he had a male child, because men children carry on his legacy. He said, ain't I better than you than 10 children, than 10 sons? I am, isn't I? He knew he was good to her, but that wasn't enough. She wanted to feel the fullness of her womanhood. She hadn't had a child. She had women all around her with all these children, all these babies. I'm sure she was babysitting for a lot of them, but she hadn't experienced it for herself. Women in the ancient days feel complete when they don't produce a child for their husband. When they don't have any children, a woman felt incomplete back in those days. Today, women happy when they ain't got no children. Man, I ain't got none. I ain't looking for none. I'm glad I ain't got none. Ain't nothing but trouble. Ain't nothing but a bunch of money, a bunch of pain. I don't want no children. But in those days, women understood the importance of having children for their husband. And it grieved them to their soul when they couldn't do so. I mean, it really grieved them to their soul. And it will humble them in a way that the man would never have a problem out of her because she felt like a failure in his eyes. And if you ever find a woman that feel like she's failing you, she will humble herself to the highest degree. But that's how Hannah felt. Hannah felt like she was letting her husband down and not performing her duties as a wife because she wasn't having children. That's how she felt. Read on, please.
Verse 9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh.
Now they went to Shiloh and they ate, they drank, they had their feast, they did everything that they was doing. And watch what she did. Read on.
And after they had drunk, now Eli the priest sat upon his seat by the doorpost of the temple of the Creator.
Now after everybody got drunk, after everybody had their feast, Eli got up, but he wasn't drunk. Eli wasn't drunk. Eli probably, more than likely, wasn't even drinking because he holds a special position in the seat of authority and power in the house of the Most High. Just as a lot of these men do today, but yet these men, they fall faint at their duty and responsibility, and they want to taste given to their own desires. Eli sat by the door of the house of worship. And what happened, please?
Verse 10. And she was in bitterness of soul and
she was in deep distress. She was in pain. She was in bitterness of soul. She was suffering. She was in turmoil. And then what did she do with all that, Ima? What did she do?
She prayed unto the Creator.
What did she do?
She prayed unto the Creator and wept.
What did she do, Ima?
She prayed unto the Creator and wept sore.
Do you see what she did, family? She prayed to the Almighty. She didn't talk to the priest. She didn't talk to her husband. She didn't talk to the other girls that she was in association with. She didn't act a fool and act stupid. She didn't make her husband's life miserable. She was on her best behavior. She obeyed her husband. She did what her husband required of her and requested of her before he could even get it out of her mouth. Out of his mouth, she did it because she understood her husband. She knew what was required before it was required. That's the kind of woman that makes a man fall in love with her. When you got a real man, those are his desires. Hannah held all that suffering, all that pain, all that torturing. She held it all in. And when she got to the house of the Almighty, she had been there several times in the past. But now this one particular time, she had enough. She goes to the door with all that bitterness, with all that pain and all that suffering. And what did she do? She cussed Penina out. No. She had to tell Penina off and put Penina in her place. No. She's not a wicked woman. And why you call that wickedness, Prince? Because you're causing division. You're causing more of a problem and you don't even understand. If your sister wife is causing a problem and you're understanding, take her to the Most High. Talk to the Most High about it. And even if you do talk to her, still take it to the Almighty because maybe she don't understand. Maybe she don't hear you. And maybe she's still being offensive to you. And a lot of you don't have a sister wife, but that's okay. That's okay too. Maybe you need a sister wife just so you can learn how to worship the Most High in truth. It might be something that you need to light your fire. So where we at? She prayed. She took all that anger, all that bitterness, and all that grief and prayed to the Most High. Read on.
And wept sore.
and she wept sore. She cried profusely. She cried unceasing tears. She was in turmoil or pain from the inside out. When's the last time you cried to the Almighty, family? When the last time you went and laid before the Almighty and actually shed tears in your request to Him, whatever your request was? See, Hannah knew how to pray. Remember, because Hannah was in her femininity, she was in her strength. For a man, he's in his masculinity, he in his strength. For a woman, she's in her femininity, she's in her strength. You have to utilize your strength and humble yourself when it comes to the Almighty and seek Him in sincerity. And that's what Hannah did. Read on, please.
Verse 11. And she vowed a vow and
She
said,
did what?
She vowed a vow and said, O Creator of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaid, but wilt give unto thy handmaid a man child.
A what?
A man child.
A what child?
A man child.
She begged the Most High for a man child. Why am I asking you to explain that to me? Because I want you to know that Hannah was real specific in her request to the Creator. She didn't say, Creator, I just want to have a baby so I could feel fulfilled. She wanted to please her husband because her husband's desire should be her desire. She wanted to give her husband a man child. And that's what she takes to the Father. And she requests of the Creator a man child. Read on. Now, but hold on. Before you read on, this is what I want all y'all to know. What caused all this to happen is because somebody hated her for no reason. Somebody hated her for no reason and showed her that they hated her for no reason. So what did she do? Did she lash out at the people who hated her? No, she didn't. She could have told the people off. She could have made the girl's life difficult. She didn't do none of those things. She could have complained to her husband about the person that was hating her for no reason. What do you do when you find out somebody hates you for no reason? You talk about them. You might not give them things. You might not do things if it's in your power to do. You might even show hatred. You might even start talking back to them about themselves and why you don't like this. And y'all might even get into a fight. Hannah didn't do none of those things. Hannah was instigated by her sister wife. And what she did was she took it to the Almighty and prayed. And let's see what happens.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thy handmaid and a man child. Then I will give him unto thee, Creator, all the days of his life.
And then I will give him to thee, Most High, great King, all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. Do y'all understand what that means?
Okay.
It means that she devoted her child to be a Nazarite. She devoted her son. Samuel was a Nazarite. That's another thing that a lot of people don't know about Samuel. He was a Nazarite from birth to the Almighty. Plus, he was a priest. Well, let me say, plus he was a Levite. But he happened to be in the service of priesthood. Yeah, Kohath are the priests, so yeah, we right. Read on, please.
Verse 12. And it came to pass, as she prayed long before the Creator, that Eli watched her mouth. Now Hannah, she spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice could not be heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken.
Now, here we go. The power of false accusations. Eli wasn't drunk. Eli knew what he was talking about. He knew what he was doing. So he thought she was drunk and didn't know what she was doing. How many times do people falsely accuse you of things that you haven't done, that you're not guilty of? And they stand on those principles until you get the opportunity to express yourself. Once you have the opportunity to express yourself, a righteous person would apologize and make it right. A wicked person will defend it and say, nah, but you did this and this is what you was doing. But a righteous person will say, my apologies, brother, I'm sorry. Or my apologies, sisters, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. All right. This was Eli's way of apologizing. Be it unto you as you will. May the Most High bless you. Read on, please.
Now Hannah, and Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee.
Now he didn't see no bottles. He didn't smell her breath. All he did was see a woman in pain, agony, crying out to the Almighty because somebody hated her for no reason. She took that frustration to the Almighty. So hard was she in prayer, so deep was she in her meditation that Eli thought she was drunk. She down on her knees, crying profusely at the house. And Eli, being a spiritual man, but yet on his way out from spirituality, thought she was drunk. I want y'all to know that all this is prophecy. We're going to talk in a little while about how the Most High dealt with the house of Eli, about all the things that Eli did and his sons to cause them to be removed. The Most High knew what was going on in Israel with Eli and his wicked sons, and how he raised his sons without chastisement and correction. Therefore, the Most High had to put a replacement in Eli's house, but he couldn't replace him with Eli's sons. So he took a replacement from Korah, the sons of Korah, the son of Elkanah, the son of Hannah, and he raised up Samuel in Eli's house, knowing that when Samuel became a young adult, Eli was going to be removed. Eli had good qualities about him. He had great qualities in many instances, but Eli failed to discipline his children, just like a lot of you today. You be good women, you be good men in so many areas, but you fail to correct the seed coming up underneath of you. You give them whatever they want to do, you let them do. No matter what they say, you just give them full reign. And the Most High don't like that. The Creator loves balance in everything. And that was one of the commandments that came out earlier today. How it talked about these things must be correctly done when you're disciplining your children, you're disciplining your household, just like you were disciplining outside of your household. That was one of the laws that we read today. But Eli wasn't doing that. And because he wasn't doing that, the Most High said, I had enough of you. He could not allow Eli's sons to come up in Eli's stead and rule over Israel because they was wicked. They were sleeping with the women. The girls that come out, like Hannah was out there crying. One of them would have smooth talked her and took her in the back and knocked her off. She got pregnant, went back and blamed it on her husband, and it had nothing to do with the Almighty. The Creator couldn't have nothing like that in his temple. The highest people in the order of service to the Most High must be exactly that. The highest spiritually, the highest physically, the highest mentally. Then you can come into the service of the Almighty. And if you're not those things, the Most High will remove you and send a replacement to take your place. Eli was on his way out. Eli's sons is going to get killed. Eli is going to hear about their death, and then he's going to die. But before all that, the Most High is going to tell him, Samuel, what's going to take place with Eli. And all that did was prepare the way for Samuel. So this woman that Eli is speaking to and accusing falsely of accusations is going to be the woman that bring up his successor, but he doesn't know yet. Read on, please.
Okay. Verse 13. Now Hannah, let me go. Verse 15. And Hannah answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit.
What she say? I'm a woman of what?
A sorrowful spirit.
A troubled spirit. Her soul is in anguish, and she's crying out to the Almighty for help. Read on.
I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I poured out my soul before the Creator.
She said, I poured out my soul before the Almighty. How many of you take your problems to the Most High and pour out your soul? Read on.
16. Count not thy handmaid for a wicked woman.
What did she cut? Oh, wait, wait a minute. What did she say?
She said, count not thy handmaid for a wicked woman.
I need y'all to understand this now. Why did she say that?
Because wicked women are the ones who are going around drinking and getting drunk. And
yeah. There you go. Women ain't got no business drinking. And they really ain't got no business drinking at the house of worship. And they really ain't got no business at the house of worship or in public drunk. They shouldn't be drinking at all. They shouldn't be drinking it. Okay, Brian, I'm trying to get it straight. Women don't drink outside in the public. They ain't got no business drinking at all. But it seems it's like strange to me, but every Israelite event I go to, the women are the first ones to say, hey, let's get some wine. The women get the wine before the men get the wine. The women get the alcohol before the men get the alcohol. The women are always the first one to say, let's get drunk. Let's get tipsy. Let's get high. You damn alcoholic. And don't even want to admit it. You got a problem. Why is it that we can't have a feast day without inviting wine and liquor and weed and alcohol and all those things, but yet we call ourselves holy and separated to the worship of the Almighty? Why is that? Why do we always have to include spirits and intoxicants to have a good time before the Almighty?
We don't.
It's wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it always starts with the women. Hey, let's get some wine. Let's go get some wine. Let's get some beer, some liquor, some weed. Can we get some weed? Hannah called those type of women wicked women. Yeah, I know his sister's in the back. So Prince saying we can't drink? Damn, I hate this Prince. I like to drink, Prince. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of wine. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of weed. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of chicken. What's wrong with Prince? Can't do nothing. This is that sacrifice that we talk about. This is that part that we talk about when you have to give up a little bit of your own pleasures to worship this king.
Okay.
Can't do nothing with this guy. Unfriend, bang, we gone. I ain't messing with Prince no more. You can't do nothing. You know what Prince is doing? Prince is building your soul to righteousness, to purity, and to truth. Prince is causing you to alleviate yourself from all the things that keep you separated from living your best life with the Creator. That's what Prince is doing. Oh, I just be liking to get me a sip every once in a while, Prince. That's a weakness. That's a sign of weakness because you're relying on those things to take away your troubles and your pain. The Most High says you give wine to those who are heavy in heart, those who cannot make it, can't do it. You give them that. Why? So they will forget their sorrows. That's what the Most High says. So they will forget their sorrows.
Okay.
Real people take on the challenge of their sorrows. If I'm having trouble, I fix it. I work on it. I try to figure out how to get it done. Because most of our problems today, and I want y'all to listen real carefully and tell me if I'm wrong. Most of our problems today that we have in life is because when they first rose up, we didn't deal with them appropriately. We let it get out of control. And then when it get out of control, we're scuffling and scraping to see how we can fix it after it exploded and blew up into something great. If, when it first showed its ugly head, if we dealt with it in its premature state, when it first rose up, it wouldn't have been a problem later on in life. But as you go through life, most of the difficult times that you have in life, they come out, they cut your water bill off, they cut your water off outside, That didn't happen just by chance and circumstance. It happened because when they sent that water bill when it was only $25, you didn't pay it. You ignored it. And then it grew and it grew and you still ignored it. It grew and it grew and you still ignored it. And it grew and it grew. Now they want $2,500 and you ain't got it. And they said it got to be paid by tomorrow. You can't even borrow it. So they cut your order off. Now you got a problem. Now you want to call around to your spiritual leader. Hey, spiritual leader, you're supposed to be my spiritual leader. I need your help. It's lessons like this that your spiritual leader is giving you to teach you how to avoid a lot of the problems later on in life. But if you don't listen, you won't know. You won't learn. And your water going to get cut off. Your light's going to get it because your spiritual leader will say, didn't I tell you how to do that? I taught you how to do that months ago, years ago, weeks ago. But you didn't listen. You laughed. He said, stop drinking. You didn't want to hear it. He said, stop eating that chicken. You didn't want to hear it. He said, stop smoking that weed. You didn't want to hear it. Now you're laying up in the hospital bed at the last moment asking for his help, wanting his prayers to the Creator to make you better. Why? When all this could have been avoided. Just listen. He's not telling you all these things because he want to be superior to you. He want to have dominance over you. He don't care about those things. He wants you to live. He wants you to pay your bills so your family will be happy. And that extra income, you could donate something to the temple. Now imagine, you got to get that $2,500 up to get your water back on so your kids could take a bath, so you could take a shower to go to work. Had you listened to the teachings of your prince and you was consistent in your life in handling your obligations and tackling your problems before they got escalated, you would have extra money left over at the end of the month that you could send into the temple, thereby doing your duty, giving back to the works of the Almighty. But because you don't listen to the lessons, you don't take heed to the lessons, you don't apply the spirit of the lessons into your life, therefore, you have all these problems. And then you want to come back and say, hey, listen, I need some help. But if you listened, you wouldn't be needing that type of help.
Okay.
Most of the problems we have in life is because we did not deal with them when they first arose in our lives. When they were small, we didn't handle it. We ignored it. We postponed it. And we allowed it to grow. Read on, please.
Verse 16. Well, reading from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 16. Count not thy handmaid for a wicked woman.
All the women that get drunk are worthless women, or wicked women. Women that get drunk, women that drink that wine, women that smoke that weed. All of y'all are doing wicked things. The Creator said, thou should not commit murder. That's exactly what you're doing when you put those things into your body. You're murdering yourself and don't even realize it. And especially with the wine and the weed that they got out in these streets today, they got stuff in that stuff that ain't good for you. It's killing you. Read on, please, before I go off on a tantrum.
For out of the abundance of my complaint and my vexation have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace. And the Creator of Israel grant thy petition that thou hast asked of him.
That was Eli's way of apologizing for her. What did he say? He said, go in peace. Lakely Shalom. Lakely Shalom. Go in peace. And the Elohim, Ha Elohim of Yisrael, grant unto your petition that you have made unto him. He said, if you're telling me the truth, may the Most High bless all that you have said, asked of him, all that you have requested of him. He says, I apologize for what I've said to you. May the Most High be with you. May the Most High grant your petition. He didn't know that she was bringing forth his replacement. And even if he did, he would have accepted it because he was a loyal, obedient servant of the Most High. He just had his faults. Everybody has some type of fault. But the Most High is going to expose him to his fault, and he ain't going to do nothing about it. This is all a prophecy being fulfilled that was written a long time ago from a man who was a prophet of the Almighty, that the Most High said, not a man shall grow up and piss against the wall in your house. This is Eli. That's the man. The Most High made that prophecy that none of your children shall grow old enough to piss against the wall. I mean, all the men that piss against, all your descendants that piss against the wall are going to die by the sword. That's what the Most High said. And then all of his sons are going to die a gruesome death by the sword. You remember the King David? Remember when King David was king? Way after this, and David had the Ahitub. Remember Ahitub? The priest who gave David the showbread? He was a descendant of Eli the prophet. And he's going to die at a young age. He's going to get murdered by the sword. This thing goes on and on and on. Ahimelech. This thing goes on and on and on and on. The greatest prophecies are fulfilled. And this is where it all comes to life. Read on, please.
Okay. Verse 18. And she said, let thy servant find favor in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad.
So all she had to do was get it out to the Most High. The priest came about. The Most High could have spoke to her, but he didn't. The Most High didn't speak one word to her. The man of the Most High spoke it unto her, and she trusted it. Oh, who makes you think you speak in behalf of the Most High? Who are you? You prince. That's all. You just prince. That ain't nothing. You ain't nobody. She didn't do none of that nigga stuff. Know what she did? She accepted Eli for what he said.
Mm-hmm.
She said, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate it. And her burden was lifted.
Okay.
From a few words. But today we so hard-headed, arrogant, stiff-necked, and rebellious. The men who represent the Almighty, we don't trust them. Why? Because we don't trust ourselves. And that's part of the problem. Read on, please.
Verse 19. And they rose up in the morning early, or in the rising early, and worshipped before the Creator, and returned and came to their house to Ramah.
And they woke up early in the morning and went back to their home in Ramah.
And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Most High remembered her. And it came to pass, when the time was come about, that Hannah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Shemuel, because I have asked him of the Creator.
All right. What verse are we on?
We're on verse 21.
All right. Hold that spot for a minute, please.
Okay.
We're on verse 21. All right.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, for commenting, for liking, and for always supporting this channel. And if it's your first time, welcome to my channel. And every Wednesday there is Bible study on this channel, so make sure that you subscribe if you're not subscribed. So welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays, and I'm so excited to be back again this week. And today we want to look into something that God is doing in this season, and it's just to give you a word of encouragement that it's time for you to say bye-bye to every provoking Penina in your life. And it's time for those who are like Hannah, those who have been through seasons whereby God has closed your womb, those that have been through seasons whereby they are quiet, those that have been in seasons whereby they feel as if they are hidden. It's now time for you to arise. It's now time for you to arise like Hannah arose. Now, exactly 1 year ago, I taught on Hannah and Penina in a video called Do Not Despise Your Story. And I feel that in this season, we are in a season whereby those who despise their story are about to rejoice in their story. They're about to give God glory for their story. Because sometimes you can despise a story because you don't understand the picture of God, the vision of God for your life. So make sure that you check that video out. I'll put it right there, and I'll put it also in the description box. So let's go straight into the word from 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 4 to 7, which says, And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to Penina his wife and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that that she provoked her. Therefore, she wept and did not eat. Amen. So some of you are like Hannah. You have been like Hannah for so many years. You are in places or situations whereby only God can help you. You are in seasons whereby nobody else can help you except God. You see, there are certain tribulations, certain storms, certain troubles of life that only God can take us out of. There are certain difficulties in life, certain seasons and wildernesses that only God can pluck us out of. Sometimes people cannot help you, and maybe you go through life and you begin to be bitter, you begin to blame people because you find that so and so cannot help you. You find that this situation cannot help you. You find that getting a loan or borrowing from somebody is not helping the situation. This is because you are in a situation whereby only God can help you. But I pray in this season that you begin to see the hand of God in your life and you begin to see the help of the Lord. So what happened here is that there was a man called Elkanah, and he would go to Shiloh to worship the Lord year by year, because in those days people would go once a year. So he would go year by year to worship the Lord, and he had two wives. One was called Peninnah, and one was called Hannah. Now the name Peninnah in Hebrew actually means jewel. So this Peninnah was a jewel, and the name Hannah in Hebrew means grace. I'll put the details on the screen. So sometimes in life, people have the grace of God. You may have the grace of God, even the favor of God, even like Joseph did. Joseph had the grace and the favor of God, but it seems as if you don't have the grace and favor of God. And those around you may look like jewels. Those around you may look like they are more important, like they are precious. Of course, everybody's precious in the eyes of God, but there's certain people you might think like, wow, this person is really blessed. This person has it all. You see, Peninnah had 10 sons, and she looked like she had it all. Her name meant jewel. But Hannah, her name means grace, and Hannah actually had the grace and the favor of her husband. You see, we should never judge situations and people based on what we see. It's very important in life that we begin to cultivate a life of walking in the discernment of the Spirit of God. It's very important to cultivate a life of prayer, a life of growing in the love of God and growing in faith, so that we can begin to see with eyes of discernment, so that we can begin to see the things that are hidden, the things that are fenced in and not exposed before the eyes, the physical eyes, but exposed before the eyes of God. You see, Hannah must have thought like, this woman has everything that I want. But yet Hannah had the grace of her husband. Hannah had the grace and the favor of her husband. Every time that they would go to Shiloh to worship, her husband would give Hannah a double portion. Some of you today have a double portion, but because of your season, because of you being hidden, because of you being in a quiet season, because of the troubles and the tribulation, you cannot see the double portion that God is giving you. You cannot see the grace and the favor of God upon you. I don't know about you today. I don't know the situations that you're going through, but I want you to begin to focus your eyes on the grace of God. Focus your eyes on the favor of God. Begin to take your eyes away from the things that you do not have. You see, Hannah was so focused on what she did not have, so focused on the fact that the Lord had closed her womb, so focused on the bitterness, so focused on the sorrow and the sadness, that she began to ignore the double portion that she received from her husband.
You see that? Very good lesson. Very good lesson. Now, I thought it was necessary for me to present a woman's point of view on this whole matter. A woman can say things sometimes that another woman can hear and understand and receive before they are accepted from a man. She said that stop taking your troubles and focusing on the things that you don't have from the Creator, and began to focus on the things that you do have, the blessings that the Most High has placed in your life. Start to think about those things. Start to utilize those things. Start to find the power and encouragement to work off of that foundation, off of that principle, versus the things that you do not have. Look at the blessings and how the Most High works in your life. So when they hate you for no reason, don't allow that to tear you down and tear you up and rip you up and turn you out. Don't allow that to happen. Turn to the Most High and allow the Most High to work in favor of your life so that He can begin the process of healing you, And remember what she said? She said, it's just not that season or your season. And sometimes that's the way it is. It wasn't my season when I wanted to buy that land. It wasn't my season to acquire land. And I had been looking for land for 11 years, but I couldn't get none until the Most High made it so. Not made it so just financially, made it so that I was ready for the gift and the responsibility of such something of such a high magnitude. We just think it's a common thing to own land, but it's not. You got to know how to manage it. You got to be unselfish with it. You got to be willing to share it. You got to be willing to understand that it's not for you, it's for the people. And I wasn't ready at that time. When your season comes, family, it's going to all be based upon the discipline and the loyalty that you have with the Creator. So when they hate you for no reason, it's going to be a lot based on how your spirit allows you to move because you're in your season. You understand? The Most High is bringing all those blessings upon you in your life because it's your time, because of the sacrifices that you've made in this walk toward Him. Then it's your time. And then people really going to start hating you, really going to start disliking you, bringing up accusations against you, trying to get others to join their bandwagon to be against you. Why? Because you're living in your season and they're not. A lot of those people want to be you. A lot of those people want to be in your place. Penina wanted to receive the love that her husband had for Hannah. She wanted it. And because she didn't have it, she did everything in her power to make Hannah's life miserable. And that's what a lot of people in this lifetime will do to you for simply no reason at all that you can understand. And in their mind, if you ask them, they won't know why they do it. But they'll have justification for it, but they really won't know why they do what they do. May the Most High be pleased. We're going to stop right there. We stopped at verse 21. May the Most High be pleased. And next week, we'll pick up where we left off. So at this time, family, are there any questions or comments that we want to bring forward? If you don't mind, tell us what you got out of this lesson, if it helped you at all.
Well, Kane, I would like to say, first great lesson, Prince, well brought forth and well explained, made it simple enough to where, there could be no error in the explanation. So there should be really no questions again, but people see from where they sit. One thing that I really like is the fact that as she had to deal with the things that she had to deal with from Penina, like I say, she took that and she turned it into something else. Like I say, she didn't turn it into a railing accusation. She didn't go off the rails and just start saying, I'm sick of this woman. I'm tired of her. Can't you just put her somewhere else? No, she took that and she turned it into something else. And it just shows that when your heart and your desire is to please our Most High Creator, regardless of what you go through, you're able to take it and don't necessarily like to use the term channel, but you're able to take it, redirect it, and present it unto Him. Turn it, instead of just harboring hatred or just bitter resentment, which really festers and just rots your soul from the inside out. Again, she took that thing and took her hurt and her sorrow, and she just lifted that burden up to the Creator. And in doing so, and even just the humility it even takes to do that, because like I said, she didn't have to take it. And then, like I said, Elkanah, he was great to her, but she was like, no, but I need to do this, and I really need to cry out. And she used that as her fuel to cry out to the Most High. And again, the Most High heard her in her time, because like I said, she had been barren for a while. So like I say, when that time for you to come forth is made evident, it's going to be a great coming forth, and the provision that the Creator makes for you is going to be phenomenal. And so, like I said, she brought forth, like I say, one of the greatest prophets walking. So again, it was a great lesson, and it was well put together, really well put together. So definitely appreciate the not just the input, but the production and the bringing forth and having the materials set in such a way that I mean, like I said, there's really so much that you can glean from it, and I really just do appreciate you for bringing this lesson forward. Like I said, again, it's a word that's really needed in our people in this nation in this time. So it's a right now present word. And so Total Rabah for bringing it forth.
Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabah. If anyone wishes to come on to give your opinion, the link is in the room. You can hit that, come on in, and say what you need to say, and be on out. May the Most High be praised.
I wanted to say that I mean, I've read that story before. Of course, you know, when you're reading it and it's a bunch of people, it's not thoroughly thought out or even explained. So I definitely always appreciate how you bring, you know, the stories to life, and relatable, you know, whether we think it or not, but once we hear it and we're sitting in it, it's like, okay, so, I mean, for me, it was just very helpful in the type of woman that, you know, we need to be focused on being, and how we need to be more disciplined in our actions, you know, in our choices, like of how we want to deal with, like you said, certain pains or certain things that the creator is really the only one that can address it and to bring change. And bringing it to your ish doesn't necessarily help it to bring change. It may bring a temporary change, but it's not the change that truly is supposed to happen. And so, you know, reading that story again, because it's always, the most times when I hear it, it's always, you know, just ran over kind of quickly. It doesn't bring out the spiritual aspects of it and the true nature of, you know, the whole reason that whole story came about and the whole reason why Samuel first and foremost came about. So yeah, it just, you know, it teaches you as a woman to get back into your humbleness, and being connected to the creator and seeing the power that we have being connected to the creator. So definitely appreciate the lesson today. It was very powerful and insightful. Even when the sister, when you played that clip, you know, it was powerful and insightful, because sometimes we just need a reminder of where it is, what it is, and, you know, where we are in life.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabah. Toda Rabah. Bang, did you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, like Ima was just saying in Abba Mattathias, this is a very, very great lesson, and it just seems like every single week, you know, the lessons continue to be greater, more insightful, more reflective. And I keep saying I'm going to continue to say it, because every lesson at this point for the last few months have just been making me stay in a constant state of reflection, just showing me, you know, how I can always improve, how I can always continue, how I must always continue to improve. Not a, you know, like I even said earlier today, it's just like the Most High is like purging us as a people. He wants to. And like how you talked about pouring out your soul, how many often do we truly pour out our soul and give him everything, you know, everything that we have? You know, when something builds up inside of you and there's an explosion that takes place where you finally let it out, you know, you let everything out, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's a lot of different points that I've taken from this message, especially even from going a little bit into like Eli and the things that he allowed. You know, you can be a righteous person inwardly, but you also cannot be afraid to. And what I'm learning is you cannot be afraid to shake the table. You can't be afraid to stand against the wickedness and the things that take place in this world, because that also can also nullify and make the righteousness, that the little bit of righteousness that you may be holding on to, it can also make that worth nothing. Because what is righteousness if you're afraid to show it? What is righteousness if you're afraid to stand in that at all times, or if you change up depending on who you're talking to, or you can, you're just not giving the creator your all. You're still, like I was saying earlier today, when it comes to profaning the name of the Most High, we can always still be profaning the name of the creator if we are not 10 toes down if we're not in all the way 100%. Like if you can't give him no mixed fabric, you know, you can't be a mixed fabric yourself. You can't be 70% wool, you know, and then 30% polyester. You know, you can't, not with the creator. And that's what the Most High is showing me through every lesson that you've been bringing forth here lately, is that you must not have no bruise, no tear, no no cut anywhere. Like it's, you know, you got to give the Most High your all. And last thing I want to say is that from this lesson, and listening to Hannah, how she handled herself, you know, it always goes back to like us staying in righteousness, keeping the laws of the creator, because the law that I brought out, I believe it was last week, was that you should not bear or bear any grudge against your neighbor. You shall not avenge your neighbor, you know, in any ways. You must always reverence the creator. And whenever we're going through certain things in life, and that's what she did. You know, she took the persecution on, but she didn't allow it to create a grudge inside of her. She didn't allow it to cause her to take out a certain vengeance. You know, she just took it before the creator so that he could, you know, have his way, or explain to her what was going on, or give her an understanding as to even why she went through what she went through. You know, she never allowed that the hatred that was being thrown her way. She never allowed it to overtake her and her become an embodiment of it and throw it back or throw it to the side, or, you know, even allow it to change her essence. You know, her crying out to the creators because she was at a point to where she maybe have almost broke, but she didn't, you know, and so she, you know, the Most High was pleased with that. He accepted it, you know, and so, you know, there's a lot of things to reflect on from this lesson, but I'm just grateful for the teachings, grateful for the consistency of the teachings, and yeah, I'm grateful. You know, just want to continue to be here, learn and build in the best way that I can. So,
may the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah. Total Rabbah. There's a few comments on the side. Iman, could you take care of that? It's only a few though.
Came. More Hadassah says, humbly, I know I have cried out from the depths of my soul so many times this year. This past year, I've hungered for his presence more than ever and wept deeply in repentance and seeking his love and mercy.
May the Most High be praised.
Brother Elgin says, yes, Balaks are the message conveyor for us and the Most High.
May the Most High be praised. Bro, you got to start hanging around a little more. And if you're already hanging around, just start speaking up a little bit more. You got a sharp mind. I respect that.
More Hadassah also says they feel incomplete today. They just lie to themselves deep down. Even the modern feminist brainwashed woman subconsciously feel incomplete. Science even proves not having children affects health.
That's right. May the Most High be praised.
I think Abraham was like just commenting throughout, but he did. Brother Nasi says, all praise to the creator first and foremost. Second shalom, happy Shabbat, Mishpaka.
May the Most High be praised, bro. Shabbat shalom lekah.
And Abraham, he said, so More no sips with the hubby at home.
I tell you what, bro. I reread that over and over and over, trying to figure out what you was talking about, and it just hit me what you was talking about just a minute ago. You do how you do in your house. It's only my job to teach the lesson. If you don't want to hear the lesson, then what can I do? All I can do is drop those Jews, bro. But I promise you, if you don't do it, it's going to catch up to you one way or another. I promise you. Mark my words. It's going to catch up to you one way or another. You don't have to do what I say. Nobody, let's get this straight. Nobody is being forced to do what Prince says should be done. Nobody. Just be ready to live with the consequences when they reveal themselves, that what the advice was that I gave you, you should adhere to it. It could avoid the problem in your life later on in your life. Believe me. May the Most High be praised. You're a grown man. You know you do what you do. All I can do is drop the jewels. It's up to you to take the reins.
Can I say something about, you mentioned earlier how when we have these holy days, these kadosh, set apart days, how we in most congregations we see, it's always the first thing. As soon as it's over, as soon as it begin, everybody want to have a bottle. And I just want to say to y'all, like, since we've been in our own land, well, even prior to, but seriously, like on our land, let me just say that we do not drink or smoke during that holy season. And if it is done, it's not amongst each other. Like, it is forbidden for anyone to bring alcohol or SF, which is weed, marijuana, for holy days. We do not partake in that. And we have a beautiful time with one another, just bonding and enjoying one another, sitting amongst each other, talking, growing, and learning. And a lot of people do feel like they have to have that because it's something that they were taught, and it's just, comfortable. But just saying, we've done it for so many years, and we have been, blessed regardless, and we've enjoyed ourselves without, the alcohol and the weed. And like I said, it's a community law rule, but individually in your house, people do, as they're allowed to do. So I just wanted to say that. And the Queen of Sukari says, it's a commitment to honor and maintain what has been granted to one's responsibility through it all. It was strengthening to hear how to manage with faith.
May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
And Nasi says, all praises to the Creator. Shalom, happy Shabbat. I'm glad, Moray, that the title is When They Hate You for No Reason. I'm Hated for No Reason by Fake Israelites.
May the Most High be praised, bro. I understand. I know the feeling. Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, that's exactly.
All right. Were there any other comments or questions, family? All right, Ima, are there any announcements you'd like to make before we close out?
And just a reminder that the holy season is upon us for those who follow the One Nation Calendar Coalition or the moon. September the 5th is Yom Teruah. And these dates are all based on the fact that if the moon is sighted on the date that it was presumed to be sighted, but if it's not on that particular day, it's usually like a day after. But so far the dates are Yom Teruah, which is the blowing of the horns, a loud noise. It is September the 5th. And then September the 14th is Yom Kippurim. So that begins on the night of the 4th, all day the 5th, the night of the 13th, all day the 14th.
The 14th to the 15th, right?
No, it's the 13th and 14th. I'll double check, but that's what I recall. It's all day the 14th. I'm pulling it up right now so that I could be more accurate. And then, sorry. And then for Sukkot is going to be September the 19th through the 26th. Yes, it's the all day on the 14th. So it begins, Yom Kippurim begins the 13th at evening, which is at sundown on that Friday or Friday, Yom Shishi. And then Yom Shabbat is Yom Kippurim all day on the 14th. And then Sukkot begins all day on the 19th. That means the evening of the 18th until the 26th, which is Shemini Atzeret, the last holy day of the season. And we will be hosting and welcoming families to come to celebrate the holy days with us. We ask that you just give us a heads up, a call. You can call Maish Prince Kazardar or Nasik Reshi Shema, or you can, for the brothers, please reach out to them. And for sisters, you can reach out to myself or Nasika Amuna. And if you don't have either one of us, you can reach out to any other sister that you may know on our platform or in our community. But please let us know ahead of time so we can be prepared. And then we can also make sure you're prepared to come and spend a week out on the land. Like we do have electricity, running water, but it's not in everywhere on the land. And during Sukkot, we actually post up our tents all by the Knesset up here. And we do not have running water up here. So we go down to our places of residence and shower and things, but everything else is done up here. So
basically, you'll be cool. We got you.
Yeah. So that's pretty much.
And one of the things about it, you ain't got to spend all that money at the hotel. We sleep in tents for that whole week. We cook outdoors. We just get it in all week. We do what we do. May the Most High be praised, and we have a joyous time and a great celebration doing so. You know, I want to say something before I brought up this here next comment. I remember one Pesach, I think it was Pesach, we had when we used to live in Goshen years ago. And this one brother was drinking. Him and another brother got into an argument, got into a fight. Guns was pulled out. People was threatening the lives of each other. And it was all because they was drunk. And that's how it initiated. But they wasn't supposed to have been drinking then, but they did. And because there was poor leadership, not stepping up to make sure that nobody's drinking and not enforcing things, which we didn't, that escalated into that situation. So now we learn from our mistakes, and the leadership is a lot stronger now. So we're moving forward in righteousness to that tune. And if you don't want to be a part of that tune, then I understand. You don't have to come. Ain't no problem. We're not mad at you. Sister Hadassah says, I am so thankful for your stance on this. It doesn't take intoxication and inebriation to fellowship, and especially not during any observance and dedication of the Most High. Intoxication is glorifying idolatry. Absolutely. Since antiquity, it has always been the pagans' the pagans' revelers who say intoxication is the path to spiritual righteousness, religious spirituality, religious spiritual ecstasy, and practice in the fellowship, feasts, and sacred events, rituals. Alcohol, weed, or psychedelics are not necessary to hear from the Most High. That is one of the main red flags characteristics of cult activity. May the Most High be praised.
Yeah.
All right. It was one more thing that I wanted to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did want to say that up here too, we do have an outhouse. So there's like bathroom area up here.
Hey, you'll be cool if you got to go to the bathroom. You'll be cool if you need to take a shower. You'll be cool if you need a place to stay. All the way around the board. We got about 20 tents, I believe it is. About 15, 20, somewhere. How many tents we got? About 15, 20?
Yeah, okay, about 15.
First serve. Yeah, so first come, first serve. Believe me. First come, first serve. So if you want a tent and you ain't gonna bring a tent, then you better you better get here quick. That way you'll be cool with your tent. Another thing I want to make mention is we don't charge a fee for you to come out and fellowship and keep the holy days. All we ask is that you give a donation, whatever you feel you are able to give. Now, this is the one time it's whatever you feel you are able to give that we accept. At the school, we have a certain fee that we have for children, and we ask that you meet that fee, whatever that amount is. But here, when it comes to the holy days, whatever you feel is worth to you, that's what you do. Just know that we're going to go all out and give you the best that we know how to give. We're going to do our best, We only ask that you yourself are honest with yourself. You participate, you fellowship, you be a part of, and whatever you feel you want to give or what you're able to give. Because sometimes you might feel like you want to give a lot, but you're not able to do it. So whatever you're able to do without causing a burden or stress on yourself or your life or the life of your children, then that's what we'll accept as an offering. All right. And if you don't have anything to give as an offering, you come out and just by you being there, helping out, setting up tents, helping with the food, whatever you're doing is enough for us. And we're willing to accept that as well for those of us who are not able to do all those things. And my brother just said he vegan. He vegan. Oh man, golly. What we gonna do about you, bro? You vegan. Am a vegan. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke, and I'm still hated for no reason. Well, maybe one day we'll have that conversation, bro. Maybe one day we'll be able to have that talk. But most of us are vegan. We don't eat meat either. So you won't have no problem with that. We will have food for you. We will be able to accommodate you in all those instances. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't fuss, we don't fight, we don't argue. We'll let you have your way before we argue with you. Remember that story I told? I just walked across the street from that young man. I didn't have no time, no trouble. I didn't want no trouble, no time, and I didn't want no jail sentence. So I just walked across the street, kept my mouth shut, and kept it moving. I ain't got nothing to prove. I got a whole lot to lose, and I'm not trying to give it up for anything. When I said I ain't willing to sacrifice eternity for flesh and blood, I meant it. So are there any other questions or comments, family, before we close this out? Anyone? No one? May the Most High be praised. Dane, are you able to close us out in prayer?
Can. Yes, sir, I can.
All right. Total about.
Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Most High, Yohei, Almighty One, our great King, our source of all life, we ask for your permission to approach into your throne. Abba, first and foremost, as always, we want to say thank you. We say Todah for life, health, and strength. Todah for still giving us an opportunity to correct our wrongdoings, continuing to give us the opportunity to just be better than we were yesterday, right? And to move forward, putting forward our best foot forward. Abba, we ask that on today that everything that was brought forth can be taken in internally, that we can take these things and continue to use the knowledge that has been given to better our lives, better our spirits, better our character, better our nation, and continue to build this nation to be pleasing in your sight. Abba, we thank you for another Shabbat day, another day of rest, another day to solely embrace you in your essence alone. And we ask that you continue to give us many more Shabbats that we may continue to observe this day of rest. Continue to give us peace of mind. Continue to give us peace in solitude. Continue to purge out of us the things that have been keeping us separate from you. Continue to remove every desire that we have that is contrary to the will that you have for our lives. Continue to give us mercy and continue to be merciful upon us as we are correcting and changing our ways. Those of us that do these things in sincerity and in truth. Most importantly, Abba, just continue to keep your hand upon us. Continue to keep us steadfast. Continue to keep us on the straight and narrow path. Continue to keep us building and growing closer and closer together as we continue to keep this law and make your law the apple of our eye. Make your laws and your commands and your statutes, your ways, your judgments, your understandings, that we embody these things as your people, as your chosen nation. And Abba, if it is your will that we are the remnant of a remnant, that you continue to just guide us, continue to lead us, continue to protect us, continue to feed us, Abba, for we are hungry and thirsty for your word, your love, your wisdom, your understanding, your truth, your ways of the earth, how things operate when your essence and spirit is attached to it. So we just want to say thank you. We just thank you for being who you are, continuing to always be who you are, continuing to be our beginning, our end, our front, our past, everything. It is all because of you. And without you, we are nothing. So thank you, Abba. Thank you, Todah. And we ask that you continue to watch over those that are connected to us, every other camp that is pushing this knowledge and your truth and your wisdom in the ways that you have told us to do it. We ask that you be with them. Continue to build them up, that, one day when it is time that we all come together and can serve you as a nation, and that you may be once pleased with us again, and once and for all we will be pleasing in your sight, and have done away with all the wickedness and all the things that have transpired throughout our entire existence. So we ask all these things in humility. We say Todah for everything that you've done, the things you're doing, and the things you will continue to do. As we depart from each other, we ask that you give us traveling mercies, that you be with us and be with every individual, every household, every family, and every community. Continue to be in our midst, Abba, as we are seeking you. And we just say Todah Rabbah, Todah Selah. Hallelujah.
All right. Beautiful prayer. Thank you for the blessings. May the Most High be with you all. Until next time we meet, Shabbat Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, family. A lot of toes.
Beloved.
Shalom.
Enjoy the remainder of your Shabbat. Creator will.